Welcome back, hero.
Hey yo, hero. Yo, check it. Said a little girl seeing sounds, not just the carols, but snow touching the ground. Trees wrapped up in lights, heavy bell jingles into the night. I the one from Polar Express, it's only right. Only the child profound can see the light. Negatives and the positives, lessons learned by the sight, the truest. Not yet altered by worldly influence. Hey yo, the uncarved block, we must return to it. And see this life through the eyes of a child, that's how we learn again. If you carve it into something, it's only good for what you made. The purest work of art with not an altering state. The 24th of December, who looking out for a slave? The same ones who proud no matter how much you made. Innocence lost in a maze. Yo, check it, this age of the season is younger than what you think. Stay connected, the warmest, hardest to link. Hey yo, just check it. Said the little boy seeing sounds, not the firewood crackling. He heard the wind pass again. Jack Frost snip at his nose. He thankful for the layers in his clothes, embracing the clothes. Ain't
Open Black and Miles and then coming out with 360.
Dog, and be having the most dog. Oh my, there's so many. This dude named Taz.
What a great name!
Taz, greatest name ever. And
What a great name for a hood ass, crazy athletic dude.
Dog, just super hood guy. Never tied his shoes. Would literally hoop in like sweatpants. Just legendary, like weed smoker, black and mild, hanging out his mouth at the court outside, drinking in between games. Bro, this dude was an insane athlete. Like, he would play in like the little local hood. Dude would be scoring like 50 every game. Like,
and then there's the guy who just
crazy.
like loves defense. The one guy that just like played football in high school, and like the only thing that translated was defense, and then it could just be like, right, nigga.
They just be sticking their arm out.
Right,
You can't get past it.
Strong ass arms.
They too strong.
And then it's like, bro, that's a foul, bro. Like you can't just clothesline me.
Man.
I got past you. Like you're on my hip, but your arm is just holding me back. That is literally a foul. Like and you can't explain that to them because they're like, no, bro, you soft.
You weak.
Like, bro, come on, this ain't football. As a matter of fact, I would be holding in football too,
Get
wouldn't
your
it?
weight up. Nah, when I was bro, I had the biggest problem with bigger dudes hand checking me when I was in college.
Man, facts, same.
And
that's why I started running through screens.
Straight up had a meltdown on a ref one game because like I was just this dude that I don't remember. I think we were playing like Hope or something, and this dude was big, bro. This dude was like 6'4", and I don't know why he's guarding me up the floor, and I was just like, he literally is just sticking his hand on my hip. I can't do anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
wow.
Come on, man, it's a foul. Damn. And this was before they really start cracking down on hand checking. So it's like, all right, I'll look for it. I'm like, bro, it's nothing to look for. He's literally extending his hand and putting it on my hip. Like So then, I start smacking his hand away, and then the ref blows the whistle and gives me and him like a double warning.
Right.
And I'm like, no, this isn't even that. Like, you said you can't see it, so it's there. Look at it. Like
I was the same thing, bro. I was very underweight in college. Like for a college guard, I was like 160 pounds. That's that's too skinny, bro. Way too skinny.
Same here. I was the same. I was probably less. I was probably like 150.
And just like I used to get terrorized on screens, bro.
Right.
Like them big 6'9".
I used to do the same thing. I used to the first screen. I told you, Garth,
I learned that.
I just don't understand. Like,
man,
why are you just taking a foul? I'm like,
bro, you wouldn't understand. You wouldn't understand.
These big goons.
Look, I learned that because I learned it my sophomore year. My freshman year, I was getting destroyed on screens, bro. Just absolutely like them neck rattling screens that like you think that you might be hurt type shit. And then my sophomore year, I was like, all right, bro, like I'm skinny, but I'm sharp Also, nigga,
Right.
I got blades on
Got
my
some
on my-
bladey elbows.
Right. and my shoulder bones is fucking sharp, nigga. So I was just like, all right, bet. I'm not about to gain 30 pounds over the off season and keep my speed. So I'm just about to start piercing through niggas with my bony ass elbows when they set screens. And I'll take a foul, but I guarantee you one thing: that big fella will not set a screen like that ever again on me.
Bruh.
Love it. Sorcast.
Let's get it.
We recording?
We recording
Yes.
right now?
Yes. As of the basketball stories.
Oh, I
Not the other part.
didn't know that. So yeah, running through screens with your elbows
And Hood,
and Hood,
Taz.
Tasmanian Devil with the hops.
Bro, there was a dude that went to Mumford. You might actually, he was around our age. He was a little bit older than us. You remember? I don't remember his real name, but they just called him Scoob. Did you hear about Scoob? He
No,
used to go
but
to
I
Mumford?
mean, I think everybody knows a Scoob because I actually know a Scoob too.
Did he go to Mumford? Could he hoop?
He didn't.
Okay. Well,
He could hoop, but he didn't go to.
Scoob went to Mumford. He could hoop. But he was another just like weedhead who just unexplained.
Unexplainable, God-given
Right, just
athleticism.
unexplained, like, and it wasn't just that he was athletic; that he just had game. He was
Right.
just cold,
Just really,
like, bro,
really good. Didn't really work.
I've
too
never
hard
even seen
at
you
it.
practice basketball. Like, he just comes into the game and just got all right, kind of
Drop 30 real quick.
easy.
Shooting form perfect.
Be making me mad because I was trash. I had to go out there and like struggle to be pretty good.
And here's this guy that's never
It's-
spent 10 seconds in the gym by
Right.
himself.
Like, I used to literally, I was the kid at like 14 who literally shot 200 jumpers a day. Like, nobody actually did that except for me.
Right. And just weren't talented enough.
Yeah, no, I was weak. did too much karate. That's all I knew how to do was karate. I had to learn how to turn it into like, hey,
Something
basketball.
else.
Yeah.
Let's go, man. Episode, I think this is 142. The Christmas banger.
Yes, sir.
Happy holidays, everybody, man. I hope this can be a tough time for a lot of people. So I just hope everybody's got some loved ones and everybody is feeling nice and warm. It's especially in Michigan, man. It is cold. But I just hope everybody's around people that love them and just kind of being in good spirits at this time.
Absolutely.
For me, it's like when you have kids, you can't, especially me, like I have both my kids are super duper like empathetic, you know what I'm saying, individuals. So it's like if I let, if my spirit is trash
Yeah.
around this time, they'll definitely detect it and
For sure.
and absorb it. So I always got to make sure around this time I'm at least around them that I'm keeping my spirits up for the.
So Pete, props to you for twofold. One, did some good coaching. I'm sure you'll talk about that. And two, for raising a son who understands that like being sensitive or being connected to your emotions is not a weird
A bad thing, yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because this was a very I noticed like, that's a unusually emotionally mature thing that just happened where because we hang out a lot like outside of the podcast and outside of music and I have a relationship.
Best friends.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And I have a relationship with Jaylus as well. Like, that's my guy. And he was like, hey, hero, it's good to see you again. Like, just a gesture like that.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't like
From
what?
kids.
From
You
a
don't-
from like
yeah.
a what 12-year-old kid?
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, they usually they'll feel that, but they might
They
be
won't
like,
say it, but
they'll be
what's
like,
up,
hey,
stupid?
hey, you fucking jackass, and then they might fucking
don't know how to show that I care about other people.
Yeah,
You're dumb.
right,
I
idiot.
hate you.
Hey, you're fat. You want to eat? You want to eat some more of our pizza? You fat motherfucker. But but like that was a cool gesture of like, hey man, like yeah, to be able to articulate that at that age is that's a really really good. Not only is it a good thing, it's a skill. It's a skill that like is gonna serve him as he gets older. So shout out to you for that.
That's my guy. Yeah, man. Sidebar. My hero came and watched my boys. Man, he came and watched my AU boys play this weekend. This past weekend, we won the tournament. They played good, man. We won. They had a little meltdown in the championship. We were up by 16. And
Okay,
the
so
other
wait.
team-
Just when I gave Jaylus props, I'm gonna have to throw him under the bus too because a conversation that you didn't hear that was happening on the bench was him and his friends were like counting the trophy
Oh my
ahead of
god!
time. Because the guy who walked in with the trophy, they saw him come in. They were like, "Oh yeah, we're about to win our trophies."
Man.
And then literally, the other team went on like an 18-0 run to the point where the coach, the guy with the trophies, came back in and was like, "What the fuck just happened? Y'all were just up 20. I was only gone for like 5 minutes."
Bro, now, in my team's defense, that team definitely they hit like 4 just off the backboard lucky
Yeah,
threes.
kind of turn around and poop it out of your butt, and it goes into the basket.
And they were hitting them, but they got it together, man. They finished, so that's what's up. All right, man. Let's go. Let's get right into it.
Boom.
Ash and Pikachu.
Man.
So we're going to start. So this is the Christmas episode, but we're going to start off where we left off with some Pokemon stuff. Ash and Pikachu leaving Pokemon after 25 years. Now,
that's crazy, bro.
it is, but I don't know how I feel about some of these people's response to this. Like, I see people that are like, "Oh, well, there goes Pokemon," or like, you know what I'm saying, or
what?
like mad about it. And it's like, bro, this Ash.
It's okay to be sad about it.
It's okay to be sad,
but mad?
exactly. But how are we mad about this? The Ash is, first of all, he's a GOAT. Second
His
of all,
arc is complete.
His arc is complete. He's the world.
Yeah, he's a
This
king.
isn't a-
Put this belt on him finally.
This isn't a regional thing. This
No.
isn't like Hoenn region champ or Sinnoh region. This is world coronation masters 8. He's the world champ.
Bro,
he's
they put the
he is
strap
the
on him
number
finally.
1 champ Pokemon trainer in the whole world.
Bro, after spending 25 years as a lovable babyface, they finally put the belt on him, bro. It's Kofi Mania, it's Daniel Bryan Mania. Finally.
This is the equivalent of the number 1 babyface of all time
Yes.
winning the world championship. And Ash has, and like some of his other, like, and I don't know, like, if you, and second of all, like, y'all don't even watch the show. Come on now.
Yeah.
Stop it. I've seen all the Pokemon anime. I know y'all don't be watching all that. This dude, Ash, now, he has had some wins before. Like, usually now what happens is, you know, I can't say that I'm mad, because it's almost like the way that the Pokemon anime has always been structured is when he loses, that's not like a huge deal, because they more so build it around like the journey and stuff, you know. So it's like he'll get like top 8, he'll finish top 16, he'll, you know, he's made it to the Final 4 before, and then
Made
when
it
he
to the finals a couple times.
yeah,
too.
he made it to the finals. Like, now, okay, I gotta be the one time. And because what they do is it's usually about him like surpassing a rival he has, and maybe he'll face that guy in the first or second round.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be a huge deal. He'll go to the next round and lose to some, like, now sometimes dudes be, come on now. Like, I remember, I think Sinnoh, Paul is a huge jerk.
Yeah,
That was Infernape.
Mhm.
His Infernape was oh man, so good. But that was when he beat Paul finally, and then he goes to the next round. This dude just has a Darkrai. Like, okay, we're using
got legendaries.
we're using legendaries.
Casual
That's
legendary.
cool. You know what I'm saying? So, but he
Next guy pulls out a Mewtwo. Fucking Giovanni.
So like the show is more so about his personal journey. It's not always about him winning. So I like that. But XYZ, you know, that's my favorite Pokemon anime. He should have won the Kalos League, bro. That was when he went to the finals, and he had Greninja, and that was his Greninja was like,
Yeah. It's one of his best Pokemon.
amazing.
Like top 3,
Of all, yeah, for sure, for him in the anime.
including Pikachu.
Yeah, and his Greninja lost to Alon's Charizard, and it's like, okay, he had the type advantage too. Like, come on, what are we doing? But
Bro, for some reason, Charizard in any anime that he's in is like
goated.
he's like a fucking legendary,
Yeah,
bro. Like
Say-
any
he's
carnation
got-
of a Charizard.
He's got the same. He's got the same juice as his
yeah,
Pikachu
for sure. Like Charizard is such a monster in the anime, dog.
He's got the same juice as his Pikachu does. But he had, you know, back in the day, long time ago, he won the Orange Islands League. That was like a smaller, you know, that was like a little smaller one, but he won that one. But then, like I said, he's always got close, and then his first one he ever won was Sun and Moon. Now, I don't like the Sun and Moon anime. A lot of other people don't like it either. That's when he looks kind of weird.
changed up the
Changed
animation.
up the animation. But I mean, you know, Pokemon Journeys, I think, has been good.
Yeah.
They've had all these different seasons. Now the one where he wins still hasn't aired in the United States yet, but I mean, hey, Ash Ketchum and Pikachu, GOATs,
So,
world champion.
From
number one.
what I understand, when they're gonna do the 11 episode arc,
Mhm.
it looks like, and this will, I won't lie, bro, this might wreck some of the OGs, bro.
No, I think it will for sure.
It looks
because-
like they're bringing back like each episode they're gonna bringing back some of his original guys. Like they got the
Yeah.
Butterfree coming back,
Mhm.
bro. If they bring his Charizard back that like hold him in the finals of which I think that was the Johto League finals.
Yeah. Where he, so Johto was fire. That's Master Quest. That was when he beat Gary with Charizard. Remember, Gary had Blastoise and he had Charizard. That's one of the best. That's one of the best seasons in my opinion.
Was that the same? So did he ever reunite with that same Charizard that quit on him when he had to go against
Yeah,
what's
that's
the
the
name?
one.
Pikachu?
That's the one.
He can't. That's when he won the Johto League with,
Well, he doesn't win Johto.
he beats Gary.
beats Gary
that
with
one.
him. Yeah, he gets him to. He gets him. He comes back. And
Okay, I must have missed that because I thought
because
that he
I
because he
think
went to
he
go
gets
train on like
He
on-
did because he loses in Indigo League when his Charizard won't listen to
Right.
him.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he finally they fixed their relationship in Orange Islands, I think,
Ah.
because he uses him. Because in Orange Islands, when he wins that league,
he
and
uses
the
him.
guy has a sweet Dragonite, and I think his Charizard beats that guy's Dragonite
because he went to go train with that female Charizard. Yeah, yeah. That was okay. Well, I still want to see him bring that Charizard back, anyways. But
right.
just him like with the Squirtle gang, Squirtle,
Yep.
all of those guys from like season 1. That would be really cool to see all those folks come back. I'm just curious what the arc is going to be, right? Like, because I see Gary makes another opinion.
I love Gary. He's
Or
my
another
favorite.
appearance?
He does. He's in so Gary he was in it last season of Journeys. He came because he's like Gary is like doing the professor thing. So he's and it was a dope episode because Go and Ash they were like going to look for a Moltres because Ash was trying to find his Infernape and his Infernape was trying to fight Moltres, so then Gary used Blastoise to help him out. It was dope. But yeah, man, 25 years, Ash and Pikachu. It's gonna be, and I've also seen people like, oh, it's the end of Pokemon, and it's not. They're gonna do a new show with new characters, which yes, they should definitely do that. I mean,
Man, I can't even, because I think the new lead is going to be a female, going to be a girl too.
oh, dude, people,
It's going to be gross to see the reaction to that.
and then people make up reasons why. Oh, you know the animations, it's the animation. It's just not. It's just nah, man. It's just a girl, and you're mad because it's a girl. Well,
And don't you want to see like a grown Ash?
bro? I want to see an adult Ash. So
Bro,
bad.
that would be so fire,
I want
dog.
to see.
That would be so
I want to
cold.
see a grown up Ash so bad.
Where he's like the undisputed GOAT, bro. When he's like
Bro.
how he was at the end of
I can just
Silver.
Ash is so like he is such a pure like Pokemon lover too. Like I can see him growing up and just being detached from everything and
Yeah.
like living in the
He
mountains.
just, like bro, like on the top of Mount Silver,
Nah,
just like you
come
was.
on, man.
Him and his Pikachu level
That's
level
what-
99,
Yes, that's what we need to do.
and just like he's just content, bro. Like he becomes Ryu, just a traveling
No,
like.
that's exactly what I'm thinking
This is
about. I
like a
just couldn't think of it.
Pokemon, like
That's
a
exactly-
Pokemon traveling monk that just like I don't care about nothing but
Bro.
Pokemon and
Oh my
battles.
gosh.
That's it.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. I just couldn't find a way
Yep.
to say that, but that is
With the beat, give him the Akuma
bro.
beats.
That is
Yo, somebody draw it.
somebody draw it. Somebody in the Discord. Ash Ketchum, Pokemon Monk. Okay, the vest, no shirt on under the vest, sleeves ripped off.
Right, jacked.
Still the gloves, jacked, beard.
Yes.
Okay, still got the hat on, but like long hair coming out of the hat,
Yep.
and just with Pikachu on his shoulder.
And Pikachu got a little.
And Pikachu got a little bit of.
a little bit of gray. Kind of.
Pikachu got a little bit of longer hair growing in around
Yeah.
the face area. So
Man,
that's-
that'd be so dope.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Seriously, somebody draw that. But yeah, man. So with that said, I'm excited for it. I think, y'all gotta. I don't know when it's gonna air, but you gotta catch the new. The last. It's called Masters 8. That's what it's called. It's all the Masters. The top 8 Masters are are battling. That's what these this is where Ash becomes the champion, which hasn't been shown yet. But and there's some dogs in there.
Yeah.
Cynthia's in there. You
Man,
know,
Cynthia. A lot of people say that she's like the GOAT of rival or of like Masters.
Yeah, Masters. Yeah, that's Cynthia, the one with the Garchomp from Diamond and Pearl. Then you got
Lance.
Lance is in there. Iris, I like Iris too. She's the dragon trainer girl. It's a lot of good classic characters from back in the day that are in it. So when they air it, you got it's must see because the animation is like insane.
Yeah.
So we gotta check that out. But let's go, man. Last week you guys sent us the top 10 definitive Pokemon list. I thought it was good, man. I thought it was good. I think there I was not in love with I just felt like we missed a couple big ones that should have been in there. You know, like what I did like about the list was that we definitely got a lot of OGs because, you know, we had a lot of Gen 1ers in there. Like, obviously, Charizard was number 1. I'm not mad at that. My boy Blastoise was in there. Wasn't mad at that. Gengar is a great top 5 pick. He definitely deserved to be there, too. But I thought we were missing a couple of the older ones that maybe should have been. Like I'm not mad at Lucario. I think if there's gonna be one legendary, like Mewtwo was a good pick too.
Yeah.
Gyarados is in there. I like Machamp, but and you know what I mean. I love Machamp.
Yeah,
He's
facts.
one of my all-time favorites. But if we're doing like a definitive top 10 list between everybody, I thought, you know, I was really surprised there was no Dragonite in there.
Yeah.
I was surprised there was no Alakazam in there. Alakazam is a big time like earlier.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people really, really like Alakazam, but then I can't be mad at like Pikachu and Eevee either. So
I think either you were Team Gengar or Team Alakazam, and the fact that Gengar
around
made
the time, that's true.
Yeah, it seems like I get that.
The list wasn't bad, but let's go, man. It's time for us to give you guys our personal top 10 favorite Pokemon lists. What do you got, man? Let's go.
All right, man. 2 honorable mentions. Number 1. Dragonite is an honorable mention for me.
Hey.
I think that had I been older when Pokemon first came out, he probably would have been my favorite just because I'm into like the meta and like where the dogs at, nigga, like, you know what I'm saying? And at the time I was like 7 when the shit first came out. I was like, and I love Charizard, and just comparing Charizard to Dragonite, I felt kind of some type of way. I was like jealous for Charizard that he wasn't nearly as powerful as Dragonite.
Yeah, and that he didn't get the dragon. He
didn't get the dragon typing,
man.
bro. And again, at the time, a fire dragon would have been totally OP at the time because there was
just like Gyarados, a water dragon would have been
there was no fairy, there was no steel at the time. It would have been totally it would have had no weaknesses.
And then like a starter too, having that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
So I get it, but he just looks so much cooler than Dragonite. I was like, man, I don't get it.
I was watching that. Remember we watched that video and it was the guy.
Yeah, yes.
Saying the Pokemon of
Charizard.
What they look like. He called Dragonite Charizard.
Dog, so good. Because he looks like a little kid version of Charizard. But as I've gotten older, and I understand like what it means to be a pseudo legendary, that when you have that 600 base stats, you know what I'm saying, tier, and how there's only like 2 or 3 of them per game,
right?
And I was like, man, like, yo, Dragonite is actually, he was the original pseudo legendary, right. and it's like back better than ever now with I know you haven't played the new one yet, but are you familiar with like the Terra typing thing that they got going on?
Yeah.
Man, like the new competitive wave with Dragonite is having him being, obviously he's Dragon type, but having his Terra type be normal, so you can like because Terra typing means that you get like stab bonuses for whatever the type is. So you can stab bonus with like extreme speed. And all these like crazy Dragonite like staple moves.
Let me tell you, extreme speed is such a good move. It's a priority move.
Yeah, it's like quick attack on super duper steroids.
And then if you can manage to, which if you get, all right, time to get the nerdy glasses
Right.
on.
Hey,
If
if
you can get Dragonite with multi-scale ability,
Mm-hmm.
which is if his health is full, he'll basically eat an attack from anybody.
It halves
the
attack.
damage
Yeah.
of any attack. So
Yeah.
if you can, which you will be able to if he has multi-scale.
Mhm.
If you Dragon Dance, and now you have a
Yeah.
priority move and extreme speed, like
Yeah, you're sweeping everybody.
yeah, like
Yeah,
that's
so that's what people are doing, right? The top.
Because I do it all the time when I battle online in
Yeah.
Sword and Shield. Like that's
So the top Dragonite, like kit right now is multi-scale with normal Terra typing with extreme speed.
that's nasty.
I think it's like extreme speed, Dragon Dance, and like 2 other just coverage moves.
Yeah, probably. Always give him fly,
Fly, Dragon Claw, maybe.
or dual wing beat if you.
They don't have it on this. Dual Wing Beat would have been the one, but they don't have it. At least not yet on this game. They don't have Steel Wing either, which kind of nerfed Dragapult a little bit.
Yeah.
Because there's no like steel. There's no. I don't
coverage.
think you can do any steel
There's no
moves
steel coverage move for him.
for Dragapult anymore, which sucks. He got nerfed a lot.
That's crazy.
But they introduced this cat Golding. I mean, whatever. We can talk about the meta later, but
Right.
there's some new meta. It's pretty cool. Anyways, Dragonite on my my outside looking in.
boom.
And my other one is Mew. Mew was my first favorite Pokemon because I just love the mystery behind him. You know what I'm saying?
Mew is, bro. That first Pokemon movie,
Yeah.
it was a huge deal
Yes.
in the 90s.
If you remember, if you were there at the time, like the mystique around Mew was just like, yo, like, is he even real?
Dog, that's what I was gonna
like,
say.
does he
is,
even
like,
exist?
That's what I was gonna say. Is a lot of people, when we saw the anime in the beginning part of the anime, like we were like, oh, it's like he's real.
yeah,
Like, you know what
right.
I'm saying?
Yeah, confirmed.
Because
Finally.
when we played the game before we saw the show,
Yeah.
and it was like, all right, is this like a rumor?
Yeah,
Like, what
because
is-
they hinted at him in the
they
game
did.
too, but it
even
was like,
if you had like the little magazines, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
and they remember
um,
they gave out that that card for the
Yep.
game, that like the
little exclusive
hieroglyphic
promotion
one
card. Yep.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
So yeah, man, shout out to Mew being the original sort of mystery Pokemon. And all right, so let's get into this top 10. Number 10, man. I know this particular Pokemon drives novelists crazy.
It's a Mimikyu, isn't it? Oh my god.
In the meta, bro. Mimikyu,
I
little,
hate Mimikyu.
little
So
tricky bastard, dog.
cheating.
Right, little fucking up. Thought you hit me, actually you didn't.
Hold on. This Pokemon literally eats any first hit.
Yep.
And when I say eats it, I don't mean like how Dragonite has multi-scale and it halves the damage. Like
Nope.
your move doesn't count.
No damage, 0 damage. Fuck off. You know what I'm saying? Nope. Missed me. Sorry. Now I'm gonna beat your ass. And
I think you have to have. I think the only way that you can hit through it is if you have Infiltrator
info.
as an ability.
Or
no,
I
does
don't
that- I don't
it's
even think that works.
There's certain moves.
Unseen Fist
Yeah, that
Urshifu.
Urshifu has. Yeah, and there's a couple of moves that will hit through
that
it,
will bypass it.
but it's not common.
yeah.
So you basically just
And
get a
the
first
moves
hit,
and the moves aren't. They're not even worth having in your moveset because they're not.
right?
that
Because they're not powerful.
Yeah.
So it gives him an opportunity to Dragon Dance or to Sword Dance.
Bullcrap.
And he's also like his stats are like straight too. Like
Is
he's
he-
fast as fuck, and
Is
he's
Mimikyu considered a pseudo?
no. He's his.
I
base,
kind of feel like it should be.
maybe I would be fine with me because his base stats are like around like 500 in that range, but his speed is good. He's got good speed and he hits like a truck for being so small.
And then his type is ridiculous.
And yes,
too.
bro, he's a ghost fairy type, so he's got very, very few weaknesses. So just in terms of the meta, he's one of the trickier top tier meta Pokemon.
Hate him.
And also I feel for him, man. He's got a sad story where he just wants to. He's a friendly ghost who wants people to like him, but he's too scary, so he puts on a Pikachu costume to
Right.
make people
To
less.
make people like him, which
Yeah.
makes him look even scarier.
Yeah, he does look fucking creepy.
He's actually kind of cute without it on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Bro. So then number 9, new Pokemon, dog.
Uh-oh.
Coldest Pokemon design maybe of all time, bro. Ceruledge.
Oh, is this the one that looks like a
fucking Gundam, bro. he just I'll keep it 100, bro. He makes the top 10 just off looking sweet as fuck.
That's crazy.
He looks so sweet, bro.
Oh, I can't wait to play the new one.
And he is, unfortunately though, I'm gonna have to trade you him because he is a Violet exclusive. He is a counterpart for Scarlet that he doesn't look quite as cool. And plus just in terms of the meta, he's Ghostfire type. He hits like a motherfucking like a train. And he's got this really dope move called Bitter Edge, which is a 100 base attack ghost type move, or I think it's a fire type move. Either one, he gets stab bonus for it, and it's like leech life, and it heals 50% of the damage that it gives.
Wow,
it's an awesome move, and he can do all of the sweet ghost moves like what's the Phantom Force? He can do all of that
Force,
shit.
Yeah, that's the one where they disappear.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really sweet move.
Very, very good move. Mimikyu he can do that move as well.
Yeah, I know. Had a lot of experience battling Mimikyu.
Yeah, he's annoying. He's super annoying. He's like what Smash Brothers character is like? Where they're just fucking annoying. They just stick around, kind of Kirby, little Jigglypuff, kind of.
Bro,
they just kind of stick around and just keep messing with you.
Keep messing with you. Don't go away. Move out of the way. I'm fighting somebody else.
Right.
What are the kids calling now? Third partying?
Yeah.
You can stop third partying.
Yep. Number 8, man. The original legendary Mewtwo.
Let's go. Man, nothing cooler than Mewtwo. Even that scene in the first Pokemon movie where he's got all the stuff on.
Yes, bro.
So cool, man.
Do you remember? Because that picture came out before the actual movie came out in America. So everybody was thinking, oh, is that Mew 3? When he had the armor on,
instantly jumps to
bro.
conspiracy.
Man, we saw pictures of Steelix that leaked. We saw pictures. The most famous one is the picture of Marrow that leaked, and everybody called him Peekaboo,
yeah,
and Demonix. Bro, we didn't know what the fuck was going on in 1998, 1999.
No internet,
barely
bare minimum
useful internet, where
internet,
you just got zero context,
or you had a friend that had it, and they would print up a picture and bring it to school,
bro. And it was all in Japanese. None of us could read the kanji. It was just like, yo, what is this shit, bro? Like, what's going on?
Oh man.
Yeah, Marrow was the first. Actually, no, I think Steelix was the first Gen 2 Pokemon that I actually saw and was like, all right, this is real now. Like, I heard a lot of people at school talking about it, but this is actually real. I saw it with my own, because we didn't know, bro. When in 1997, it was 150 Pokemon, and then it was 151, and that was it.
And that was it.
We didn't know that Pokemon was gonna be this franchise. It just kept going,
and they just every time there's a region, new ones, new ones.
And we had no concept
region
of
exclusive. And you know what, man? Like, that's why I think people like Johto so much, because I think Johto is there's one where they literally had an all new Pokemon and you couldn't even get.
That wasn't Johto. That was like, I think that was Gen 3 or 4.
It's not Gen 3.
It might have been 4 or 5 then maybe.
Yeah.
I know he's talking about though.
Yeah, but I'm mad I can't remember off the top of my head, but there is a region where they made it like it's like region exclusive, and I think that's cool because it forces you to
you have to get all new.
Because I was every team ever first like 4 Dragonite, Gyarados on every team.
Yep,
if I could get them, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. So yeah, man, shout out to the original goddamn legendary. Number 7, we talked about him a little bit, even though he's been nerfed a little bit in this new game, Dragapult. Beast. Number 7 for me. Ghost Dragon. The fucking Dragon Darts, bro.
Such a sweet. I think Dragapult is, as far as new Pokemon go, I think he's the sweetest newer addition that they've had in a really long time.
Because not only does he look cool, he's like super function. I mean, he's like top tier in the meta.
He's so sweet.
But they unfortunately, man, they took away his ability. Well, it's not the move Steel Wing is just not a TM right now. For whatever reason.
Maybe they'll go in and
So yeah, unfortunately, his ability to be an absolute like unbeatable monster has been nerfed a little bit because you needed that steel typing or that steel move to be able to defend against the fairies. But yeah, man, even without that, he's a pseudo legendary, 600 base stats, the fastest Pokemon ever, I think.
Bro, he's so good.
And yeah, beast. All right, speaking of fairies, man, number 6.
He got one of the sweetest, he's one of the sweetest looking Pokemon ever too.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Dragapult. And then I remember I looked at his attributes. He's huge.
Yeah, he's like 9 feet. Like, he's a
He
beast.
seems like a little one.
No,
but
he's
when
huge.
you look at it, he's like gigantic.
Even in the game, so one of the cool parts about the new game is that they have the Let's Go mode, which is like you can have your guy, you can pick whatever Pokemon you want, whoever's the first in your team, you can
To
have
follow you?
Yeah,
The whole game?
if you have to do the command, but then they stay out as long as you want.
Okay.
So like you can press the button.
So
you can press R1.
So you can have a Pokemon follow you the whole game.
Yes.
First of all, that's awesome.
And they
Second of
fight
all-
too. If you can like point them at a direction and they'll fight wild Pokemon by themselves. Which is
Second
awesome.
of all, why do we wait this long to do this?
I don't know.
Soul Silver and Heart Gold did it back in when did those games come out?
Bro, Pokemon Yellow did it in
Pokemon
1998.
Yellow did it, yes, and then we didn't get it again until Soul Silver, Heart Gold,
Mm-hmm.
and then we didn't get it again until the expansion on Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
This should have been a thing since
Yeah, I agree.
Yellow.
I agree. The only drawback is that and it could be anywhere. It's not just like in the wild areas.
See,
You
that's
can do
how it would, like in the expansion, you can only do it in the expansion.
No,
part.
you can do it anywhere here. The only problem is some Pokemon are slow, and you will leave them behind, and then they just automatically come back to your Pokeball, and you have to throw them out again. But you can press a button to literally throw your first Pokeball, and they'll come out. They'll go get items if they're nearby. They'll fight wild Pokemon if they're nearby. It's dope.
Man, that's so cool.
But I bring this up to say that fucking Gyarados is huge, and so is Dragapult, giant. All right, number 6, man. Speaking of the fairies, bro, I don't care what y'all say, dog. Fairy typing is like arguably a top 2 or 3 typing, and the greatest fairy type Pokemon of all time, in my opinion.
They're annoyingly strong.
They are so strong, dog. Like
It's annoying.
they're made to be the defensive opposite of dragon types, who are like offensive juggernauts. Fairy types are defensive juggernauts.
It's annoying.
It is. Fairy type, bro. Sylveon, the fairy type evolution of Eevee. My favorite evolution. My favorite
Let's go.
fairy type Pokemon, and she's girly looking for sure. She's got hearts and golden ribbons and rainbows, but she's a beast. I don't care what nobody say, dog. She's a beast. She's shutting all that dragon shit down off top. And you know me, dragon types are my favorite types, but I gotta give credit where credit is due. Sylveon. And so another honorable mention is Togekiss, my second favorite fairy type. Fairy flying.
Togekiss is a beast too.
Yeah. Defensive, like just an absolute tank. Like imagine like I don't know, Clefable but with offense. Or like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Chansey with offense. Chansey. All right, man. Number 5, one of my favorite original guys, Gengar,
Oh,
Poison Ghost.
And Gengar was number 5 on the top
Yes, sir.
10 list. He was in the top 5.
Sneaky fast. Not even sneaky fast, like flat out fast as fuck. Pretty unique typing, and well, it was unique at the time, not so much anymore. Poison Ghost. Very, 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 very viable in the meta. Dream Eater. That was one of his best moves. I mean, it was a hard move to set up, but it's one of the most gratifying moves to pull off in all of Pokemon, in my opinion, is Dream Eater. And Shadow Ball. That was his like signature move, I think.
Yep.
And then number 4, bro, just like you, every single game that I had, if he was available, good old Gyarados, dog.
Go.
I had to make an
He's
effort.
such
He's just dependable, bro.
Dog, so dependable.
He's
And
just
then
so
when they
dependable.
started giving them abilities, he's always got Intimidate, so he just
Man.
instantly comes in and lowers the attack
Right?
of the
Hey,
other Pokemon.
hey, fuck all that shit y'all was talking. It's Gyarados time, nigga. Shut all that shit up.
Just like you said, man, dependable. Like
So dependable.
kind of frustrating in the older games because they hadn't done the his move pool was really weird,
narrow,
and they
yeah.
weren't like
They didn't give him Dragon Love
They
yet.
didn't understand the physical special yet. So like, and this is stuff I didn't learn until I got older. But he's a physical attacker, but all he learns is special
yeah.
moves in the game. You know what I mean? And
This is also the reason why Snorlax is maybe the best Pokemon in Gen 1.
yes.
Because he's got amnesia. And there was no differentiating
There was
between
no splitting
special
between
or
special and physical.
special offense or special defense. So
Yeah.
it just raised
It
special.
just raised.
Bro,
So
he was
he was a monster.
just literally used to roll over niggas, bro. Like,
Big
beast.
Lex.
yeah, big lax. Yeah. Big fella. My guy. Hey, man, honorable mention for Snorlax, too. But he didn't make it, did he? Too bad. Too bad. He should have been on there.
Should have been on there.
Yeah, man, Gyarados, just the good old dependable. I had to make a point to myself to like not use him just because I wanted to try some other people out,
I had to do the same thing. I told you,
and I did anyways. I still had him on deck, but
because because you can catch him so early, you can
Yes.
catch a Magnecarp so early, and that's what it is. Is he's just super dependable up until you can survive without it. So
Yes.
you always end up with one.
he's just so strong, man. He's fast enough. He's not super fast, but he's fast enough.
Fast enough.
Good defense, crazy offense, a really diverse move pool these days. Gave him some Dragon Love finally. Just watch out for electric types. He is got a little bit of a glass chin when it comes to electric types, but and then number 3, man, this is one of the all-time favorites, Greninja.
Let's go.
My second favorite starter ever. So dope, dog.
Yes,
Such a good
sir.
starter.
Love it.
Obviously, he's got a lot of love in the anime as well. The special Ash Greninja beast. Number 2, one of my favorite Pokemon ever, obviously, since he's number 2. But just the original kind of like Tai Chi metal Kamehameha Pokemon, bro. Lucario.
Hey, or Sphere, one of the coolest moves ever.
Yep. Literally Hadouken. Never misses. Good. I think it's 90% base damage. Good ass move. One of the rare special attack fighting moves.
Yep, that and Focus Blast.
Yep. Are those the only 2?
I think so. I'm
Man.
pretty sure that's the only 2.
And Focus Blast is I mean it's great if you can pull it off.
Focus
but
Blast is like a spirit bomb, pretty much.
yeah, basically. Basically. And then number 1, of course, Charizard. Said enough about him, you already know. Goat.
Boom. That's what's up. It's a good list, man. Recap that for us one time.
Yes, sir. Number 10, Mimikyu. Number 9. Wow. Number 7. God. Number 9, Ceruledge. Number 8, Mewtwo. Number 7, Dragapult. Number 6, Sylveon. Number 5, Gengar. Number 4, Gyarados. Number 3, Greninja. Number 2, Lucario. Number 1, Charizard.
Boom, shakalaka. Boom. Love it. All right, man, let's go. I got some honorable mentions. I got to get out of here, man. There's so many sweet Pokemon, and y'all know how much I love Pokemon. Honorable mention to some of my favorites, Metagross. I love Metagross,
Oh, my
bro.
God.
Like,
I forgot about him.
Metagross ain't in my top 10, but literally like right 10B for me.
He was awesome.
I love Metagross. I remember.
He's not in enough Pokemon games.
No, Gen 3, man. Gen 3 going to, what's that? The champion, I can't remember his name, the Pokemon champ, going to his house, and then after you beat the game the first time, there's a Pokeball on the table in his house, and it's Beldum, and then you can get it. That's the only way you can get it. You have to beat the game first.
Yeah.
So strong, defensive beast. He's always been my ace against fairy types,
Yep.
Steel and
Psychic Steel.
Put weakness policy on him because he'll take whatever hit because his defense is so high.
Yep.
Weakness policy ups his attack, and then from there you can one hit some stuff with just bullet punch, which is a priority move. His mega evolution is fire.
I feel like has he been in
Metagross.
any other? I think he's only been in like 2 or 3 games.
You can get him in. He's in Gen 3. I'm pretty sure you can get him in. I'm pretty sure you can get him in Diamond and Pearl. I think he's in. I have him in Sword and Shield.
But you had to use home to get
I
him.
think I had to do some weird stuff to get him in there though. So yeah, he needs to be in more games. One of the sweetest pseudos ever, in my opinion. He's dope,
and one of the rare ones that's not a dragon either.
And he's one of the rare ones that's not a dragon. He just looks sweet. Like he looks like. I always name him Megatron. Ever since I was a kid,
dog,
he looks like he looks like a. And then he makes that his cry is kind of like robotic sounding too.
Yeah.
Do I need to change? No, I'm gonna keep it how it is. But shout out to Metagross. I love Metagross, man. He's so sweet. I don't even like. What is it?
It's like a fucking like a spider crab.
Like robot
and it
crane, and it like flies too.
Yeah,
and
it like it
and it like can fold up.
Yeah. It's like a you know what it is? It's like a battle bot. Like
it is
like that TV show, except it's like a.
You know what? All
like
right,
spider.
All right, Metagross is number 10 for me. I don't make it change.
He might have made my top 10 if I was thinking about it hard enough. Metagross is really
that
dope.
is such a good way to put it. Like he literally is like a battle bot.
Yeah. And he's big too,
dog, and he's huge.
Yeah.
That's it. And his his mega evolution is fire. He like flies, and then his legs are like pointing out instead of down.
Yeah. He reminds me of something that you might find in like Breath of the Wild, like one of those like ancient robots types. Yeah.
So good, man. Shout out to Metagross. Love him. Another honorable, since he's going to be my number 10, I got to give honorable mention spot to my favorite evolution, Umbreon.
That's a good one.
I think, man, there's an evolution for everybody.
Sure.
I love Umbreon personally. Umbreon is a defensive. You could do some really annoying things with Umbreon. Like just. My first ever like just stalling, you know what I'm saying? Like if you had Umbreon and Johto, which I always did, there's some, and you got some Pokemon that are out and you need to use some items while you're battling the Elite Four. You could stick Umbreon out there. You could just do toxic, you know what I'm saying? And the defense and special defense is so ridiculous. It's not going to die. You can just kind of poison the other one and just heal all your other Pokemon. Use all your turns to heal everybody else. So shout out to Umbreon. Umbreon is a defensive tank, man. And just looks sweet. Like, come on now. I love all the EVs. All the EVs look sweet, but Umbreon is my favorite.
Shout out to the evolutions in general all being viable. Like all of them are cold.
Oh, there's that's a really good point too. Like you can totally use all of them. Competitive too, like,
for sure.
Not even just,
like, bro,
not even just in the game.
In Gen 1, outside of Zapdos, Jolteon was the best electric type in the game.
Yeah, and they're all, like you said, they're all useful. Not even just in the game, but competitive too. So, shout out to them evolution babies. But let's go, man. A couple more honorable mentions before I get in my top 10. Salamence, love Salamence.
Yes.
Alakazam, Selgor, Weavile. Hisui and Samurott, the one from the new game, loved it. I love Feraligatr too. Totodile was always my starter in Hoenn, Johto. And then again, I wanted to get this guy on here, but I couldn't because it's just too many. But I love you guys know how much I love Hitmontop. That's my boy. But let's go. So we have Metagross at number 10. Let's get into number 9. My favorite newer Pokemon, I already said it, Dragapult, man.
Yes, sir.
Dragapult is a beast. He's a beast. He got one of the sweetest types ever. A ghost dragon.
Yeah. And
Dragon Darts is one of the sweetest moves ever.
Bro.
I got so many babies of myself.
Yeah. I'm just about to projectile. infant projectiles, dog.
Dragapult's a beast. And he's one of those Pokemon that got that really dope, like, physical special split. So you can either make him a physical attacker or a special attacker. Beast.
Speed crazy.
Speed crazy. One of the sweetest designs of all time, too. Coming in number 8, it's my guy, one of my original favorites from back in the since Gen 1. Never could get him because you had the annoying trade evolutions.
Oh my god!
But my guy Machamp, let's go. Machamp's a beast. I love Machamp, love his design. I always thought he was one of the sweetest looking Pokemon. I get annoyed at his move pool sometimes because like. Machamp doesn't have good speed, but he hits like a truck and he's got good special defense. I never understood why does he not have Mach Punch?
You can't even breed it into him?
You can't even breed it into him. Machamp should have Mach Punch. Like you
Yeah.
can breed Bullet Punch into him, but you can breed some other good moves. You can't breed Mach Punch into him. And I feel like, dude, his Pokedex entry says that he can throw like 1,000,000 punches in like a couple seconds. He should have Mach Punch.
Oh, speaking of breed moves, Sucker Punch with Dragapult, crazy.
Yes.
Crazy.
Crazy. Hey, Sucker Punch on Dragapult, I have it. You will get so many rage quits because people use Calyrex on online. And he's like a super powerful legendary from the game. Nope, Sucker Punch, one hit out of there.
Sucker Punch it's so annoying, dog.
It is. It's a really annoying move, but shout out to Sucker Punch. I actually have it on one of my Machamp too. But Machamp Beast, one of the best designs ever. OG since Gen 1. Always like to run guts. His attack gets higher if he's under a status condition. Give him a flame orb. He gets burned out of the first turn.
Yep.
Monster.
Yep.
Shout out to Machamp.
Start suplexing everybody. Is there a Pokemon that you would get? Is there a Pokemon that you would hate to get punched by more than Machamp?
Oh God, no.
Maybe Hitmonchan.
Oh, Hitmonchan. But I feel like Hitmonchan would be quick.
Yeah, he just knock you out real quick.
Knock you out real quick. Machamp might not even hit you in the face. Like he might.
Machamp might like explode your body.
Machamp might punch you in the stomach and your body just explodes. Coming in at number 7, my favorite fire starter of all time, Infernape. Let's go, man. Infernape is if you play Diamond and Pearl and don't pick Infernape, you're gonna have a really hard time because there's not a lot of fire types in that.
That's like
in that region for some reason.
It's like way too many water types.
Yeah. So you kind of need Infernape in that game, but again, one of the sweetest designs ever. Sun Wukong, the Monkey King.
Yeah, the fire types have always come with it, bro. Like
always.
Charizard, Infernape,
man.
Blaziken.
And like shout out to Blaziken for being the first fire fighting type. But Infernape, man, I like Blaziken, and Blaziken is good too. But Infernape, I just think he's sweeter.
Yeah,
looks cooler, hits a little harder, a little faster. Blaziken does have speed boost, which is like cheating. But Infernape is dope. And then in the anime, like he's one of Ash's top 4 Pokemon ever in the anime too.
Yeah.
So shout out to Infernape. Coming in at number 6, I think my boy gets disrespected sometimes when people talk about the starters, and that's Sceptile, man. That's my boy. Gen 3 Hoenn region, my favorite region. Pokemon Emerald's my favorite game. Gen 3's got my favorite starters too. Like they're all 3 really dope. But I sometimes I hear people talk about Sceptile like he's not one of the best options for that game, and bro, Hoenn region is literally all water. Like it's all water, everything. It's so much water and so many water Pokemon. I think Sceptile, if you pick him, you like walk through that game.
Yeah.
And then, he got a little frustrating as Pokemon went on because his move, he's one of those Pokemon that's got like really high special attack but only learns physical moves. You know what I'm saying? Now, in the Gen 3 games, he was really good because they hadn't, Leaf Blade was a special move back then.
Right,
now it's a physical move.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So
they got Magical Leaf now.
Yeah, they kind of messed up his move pool a little bit, but Sceptile's got crazy speed. He's got Unburden, which is one of the best abilities ever. If you use the item, his speed like basically doubles, so then like nothing will outspeed him. And one of my favorites also in the anime too, bro. Sawyer's Sceptile versus Ash's Greninja in Pokemon XYZ. Whoo! One of the best Pokemon battles ever. Shout out to Sceptile. Let's get into this top 5. Coming in at number 5, we just talked about him earlier. This is my boy Dragonite.
Let's go.
I love Dragonite. Charizard.
Charizard.
We already talked about earlier, man. Multi-scale, Dragon Dance, extreme speed, man. Dragonite's so dope. I love his design too. Looks like a dragon, which a lot of the dragons don't actually look like dragons. Yep. But looks like a dragon. Been around since Kanto, man. One of my favorites. Love Dragonite. And just again, like I went through so much to get him on my teams back in the day.
Man.
Like in Kanto, remember we had to get him in the Safari.
In the Safari Zone.
And
he was so fucking rare.
Dratini was in that one spot.
Yes.
And
that one pool.
Bro, oh my gosh. And
it was hard as fuck to get to him.
It was so hard to get to him in time because it was like timed when you were
with your steps. So, but once you got there, you just basically had to just stand still and fish.
So shout out to Dragonite, man. One of my favorites. Love him. Coming in at number 4. We already talked about this guy as well. I don't think there's been a Pokemon that's been on more of my teams ever in these games. And when I say that, I mean literally maybe every single team except like one, and that's Gyarados. Shout out to Gyarados, man. Just dependable. He also, I mean, he's a monster too, man. Like you could get a Dragon Dance with him. And then he's got some dope abilities too. Intimidate is fire, but Moxie is nasty too. Like his attack goes up every time he kills a Pokemon. I shouldn't say kill. every time he beats one, you know what I'm saying. But just a monster. I think one of the best designs ever. He's not a dragon, but all the dragon trainers always have a Gyarados. Right. You know what I'm saying? Probably the most dragon-looking Pokemon in the game outside of like Rayquaza, maybe like Salamence or something, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Gyarados. Coming in at number 3, the GOAT Mega Evolution. At the time, this was the best type ever, in my opinion, when it first came out. The dual type from Gen 3, my favorite starter from Gen 3, Swampert.
Oh, for sure.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Water and ground type.
Ground, yeah.
His Mega Evolution is crazy. He literally just hits the weight room. Like his Mega Evolution, he just gets buff and then just beats everybody up. It's so sweet. So shout out to Swampert. And also, I love Pokemon that are on all fours, man. I do like what's it called, like anthropomorphic, where they're like standing up
on 2 feet.
But sometimes it gets weird. Like I think Inteleon looks weird. The one from Sword and Shield.
He's wearing like a suit.
He's like a man.
Yeah, it's too weird.
And I think even Cinderace too. Like I like Cinderace, but I think Cinderace kind of has that weird look too, where he almost looks like a guy with a mask on. You know what I'm saying? Like I love Pokemon that are on all fours. And Swampert is my favorite. Just a really dope look, dope Mega Evolution. Dope in Gen 3, but like Alpha Sapphire, the remakes, bro, he's cheating.
Yeah.
First of all, his attack defense is insane. His type is insane, water and ground. Bro, his Mega Evolution has his ability changes to Swift Swim, which doubles his speed in the rain. You Mega Evolve him, he already hits like a truck. You give him Rain Dance to start the rain, and then he's got Swift Swim. Oh my gosh, insane! Shout out to Swampert, number 3, GOAT. Coming in at number 2. Oh man, we got it's all starters from here. Coming in number 2, I had never felt like they made a Pokemon specifically for me until I saw this guy, and that's Greninja.
Yeah,
Beast.
One of the best names for
one
Pokemon
of the best
ever.
names, best looks. GOAT ability too, Protean or however they say it. Before they nerfed it, that ability was insane.
It was the same as
Libero.
Libero,
they gave it to Cinderace. Changes the type to whatever attack you're doing. Sweet type 2, water and dark, special attacker. If you get the Battle Bond, which is another ability, it like makes Water Shuriken stronger, which it's kind of a weak move, but if you get Battle Bond, he throws it like 4 times, you'll kill. It's dope. And then in the anime, man, like I think Greninja is the best Pokemon in the anime history. And in the anime, he's the only Pokemon that had like a long character arc. We see like characters have the little Pokemon something, and usually they don't, but we see it. We see it with Charizard. Like he had the story about how he got left out in the rain, and then Ash had when he was a Charmander. And then like the story with Chimchar, and like how Paul treated him like crap and abused him, and then Ash took him over, and then he evolved into Infernape. We do see it sometimes, but Greninja had like Pokemon XYZ is almost about him. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him. And then number 1. We all know, come on, my fat turtle boy since day one, Pokemon Blue for Christmas. Made that decision and picked that Squirtle turtle. Shout out to Blastoise, man. That's my boy. since I've been a little kid. Love him so much. And then like he was dope. Back in the day, I used to like the physical moves because like Skull Bash and Rapid Spin were so cool. But he's really a special attacker. And then they need to do more of this. They need to do more of going back and like making the old ones more viable. Because now he's got Shell Smash and he's got
I think they were thinking about that exactly when they introduced the Mega Evolutions.
Yeah, because now he's got Shell Smash, he's got G-Max form, and he's my number one, my leadoff in when I battle competitively online. So shout out to Blastoise. That's my top 10 favorite Pokemon of all time. I know we spent a lot of time on that, but we love Pokemon.
It was worth it.
Number 10 Metagross, number 9 Dragapult, number 8 Machamp, number 7 Infernape, number 6 Sceptile, number 5 Dragonite, number 4 Gyarados, number 3 Swampert, number 2 Greninja, and number 1 my fat turtle boy Blastoise. Let's go. Boom. All right, man. Moving on. This is the Christmas episode.
Yes.
After all, we love Christmas movies. After all, I had you guys send in your list so we could determine the definitive top 5 favorite Christmas movies of the Swordcast. Let's go. What do you got? Any predictions for me, man?
This is a top 5. Correct?
It is a top 5. It is not a top 10. It is a top 5 Christmas.
So
list
how are you
movies.
doing sequels? Are you just doing them together, or are you breaking them up?
I'm breaking them up.
Okay. So Home Alone 2 for sure.
Bruh, I love both the Home Alone movies. Sometimes I forget how much Kevin was trying to kill them in the second movie.
Dog. So
the traps were so much more.
So listen, I actually just watched it the other day, and I counted the deaths. I can't remember the exact number now, but it was something like Marv, like 7, and like Harry like 5 or something. Like these niggas was getting murdered, bro. Like. And I paid special attention to like count how many times they would have died.
First of all, the electric one, funniest Home Alone movie, dead 100%, bro. Lighting Harry's hair on fire.
Yes,
dog.
So I counted
and then him sticking his head in the toilet that had kerosene
in it, bro. Death. It would have their head exploded. Death, or burn to death, like 3rd-degree burns. You're done.
When the giant bag that weighs like 200 pounds falls from like 3 stories up and lands on Marv's head. Dead. Honestly, when he's throwing the bricks at them and hitting them in the face.
No, dead. They literally wouldn't have made it into the house. Harry slips on the fucking
oh my god,
lands on his back from like 11 feet up in the air, dead. When Harry falls through the hole in the ground,
oh my god,
dead. And then when they both fall off the ladder through the floor, that's basically like 2.5 stories on their back, dead. And then when fucking Kevin cuts the goddamn giant pipe, bro, and it lands on him, dead. And they died so many, bro. It's horrifying, bro. Murder.
Oh my god, Kevin McAllister, man.
So I'm only gonna do. So I got Home Alone 2, I got Nightmare Before Christmas, and I got Die Hard. Even though I don't think that should count, but whatever. We're not gonna solve that debate. So I'm just gonna go with those 3. I feel confident that those 3 will be on this top 5.
Boom. Let's go. All right, man. Real quick, I got some side categories here. Movies that people try to act like are Christmas movies, but they're not, that didn't make the list. Die Hard and Batman Begins.
Really? Die Hard didn't make it?
Did not.
Okay.
You want to sub it since it's not on there?
Let me think. I will go with... Oh, yes, for sure. Elf. I forgot about Elf.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, now we got classics that got some votes but didn't make it. Mm-hmm. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That movie is hilarious.
So funny, bro.
Got some votes, didn't make it.
The squirrel scene, bro. That shit. That gets me every time, dog.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas didn't make it. Got some votes, didn't make it. Let's see here. The Charlie Brown Christmas, another classic, it got a decent amount of votes. It barely missed it. but didn't make it. And now we had a tie between the movie with the most votes that didn't make it. It was a tie between A Christmas Story,
Interesting.
which is a classic,
Yeah.
and The Santa Claus with Tim
Allen.
Racist
Yeah.
Allen.
Tim Downriver Allen. Lincoln Park Allen, dog. Allen Park Allen.
Tim Downriver Allen. And let's go, man. Let's get into this definitive list. Shout out to y'all. Coming in at number 5, Home Alone, the first one.
Okay.
I love it.
Yep.
Great movie. I prefer the first one, but they're both awesome.
Really?
I love
You
both
prefer
of
the
them.
first one to the second
I
one?
do. I don't know.
There's too much murder in the second one?
I know. I don't know what it is, because I think it's just because the first one is such like, I just used to watch it all. I love both of them. I do. And the second one, I think, is actually probably funnier too.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Something about the first one, bro.
Well, I mean, it depends on which tape you had. I had number 2, and I watched it like 1,000 times.
I watched the first one so much growing up, and the second one it's funnier. It is like the stuff that he does to them in the second one is insane. So I do love both of them. But let's go. Coming in at number 4, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah. That one is the one I feel the most confident about.
Nightmare
Only
Before
movie to
Christmas.
be both a Christmas movie and a Halloween movie.
Yes, classic. Only movie that when you were a kid in school was played at 2 different holiday parties too.
Yep.
They always play that. Now here's the crazy thing. Shout out to that movie. That movie's amazing. Love it. That and this number 3, it was only a 2-point difference between the two.
Okay.
And coming in at number 3, we got another Home Alone movie. Home Alone 2. Shout out to Home Alone. This is like I think this has got to be the first time that like 2
from a franchise
made a list on here. Shout out to Home Alone 2 again. We just talked about it a bunch. Hilarious. Bruh, the part where they're ice skating and Marv is just stealing kids' clothes, stealing their hats and their scarves and their clothes.
He's such a slime ball, dog.
He is a horrible person. And then, oh my gosh, the part at there's so many. Dog, I think number 2 is better. Like the part at the end with all the birds,
bro, just started swarming all over him.
Start screaming.
Dog, he like took a deep breath and like made sure he got all of it out, dog. I wonder why that guy didn't do more.
It's so funny, bro.
I was talking about this the other day. I think it's just because Jim Carrey was already kind of doing some of that. But like that guy who played
definitely like physical humor,
bro. One of the goats, dog. I don't think he did anything else.
So funny, bro.
Man, he's funny
because that dude is hilarious. Coming in at number 2. The late addition to your list. I love this movie. It got a lot of votes. Elf.
Yeah.
Number 2, man. Hilarious. This movie is also hilarious. Will Ferrell.
I'll be honest. This was during. Okay, so I'm not gonna say that I don't like this movie, but I will say
because I get it. It came out at a time when we were like, being too cool for.
And also, it also came out during a time where I was kind of tired of Will Ferrell. It was like during Will Ferrell
when did
mania.
Elf come out? Let me see.
Like 2003.
Oh,
was it? Oh, it might have been earlier.
We were in high school.
Might have been. I kind of like, I've come to like Will Ferrell a lot, but there was a time in like the mid 2000s where I was like, all right, bro, like this nigga is in everything, and he's doing the Jim Carrey stuff, and I like Jim Carrey the best, and I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel you. That's facts.
But he is actually hilarious, bro.
He is very funny.
Yeah.
And Elf came out in 2003. I didn't see Elf until I had my own kids, which is crazy, right? Because that movie's been out for a long time.
Yeah.
I didn't even see it until I had kids. So I went from 2003. I didn't see Elf until about 2015 probably.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I love the movie. It's hilarious, and we watch it every year multiple times, but it took me a long time to watch it.
On that note, here's another one's going to get me in trouble with the Swordcast fans. I also don't love Step Brothers for the same reason. It came out during that same time.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Step Brothers, it's definitely like you got to have that. You got to be able to, like you said, you got to be able to tolerate that like Will Ferrell humor.
Because he's like maximum Will Ferrell in that movie. On the other hand, I liked Anchorman, and I always liked it from the time that it came out until now. That's probably one of my favorite joints.
Night at the Roxbury, hilarious.
Right, Semi-Pro, also funny as hell. Will Ferrell, low key goat, maybe. not quite Jim Carrey, but he's a respectable.
He's got a good resume.
Yeah, he's respectable.
Coming in at number 1, let's go. I love it. You guys did a great job. This movie was on everybody's list, and it was in the top 3 or 4 on every single one. It's Turbo time. Let's go, man.
Sir.
Jingle all the way.
Number one. Interesting, bro.
Dog.
I would have been
Number
stunned if it
one,
wasn't
bro.
Home Alone 2.
Number
Man.
1, bro. I love Jingle All the Way so much.
Yeah.
I love a movie. I love a good movie about the pursuit of a toy, like or something that somebody really wants for Christmas.
It's just a great concept for a movie.
That's my favorite like concept for holiday stuff because like growing up,
man,
I didn't know, and then when I got older, I've heard all the stories from my mom, and that's just like, and now I go through it every year. Now.
My dad calling a black arms dealer
on a
payphone to get a Nintendo 64. That nigga literally was like, "Hey, psst, come here,
come here. Heard you looking for one of those
64. Hey, call this number. Do me a favor, call this number." He really called a nigga on a payphone, dog. Off a random piece of paper that some random person gave him, and he found that bitch.
Here, take this with you. Wait a minute, this is a gun. I know you're gonna need it,
right,
bro.
Dog, shout out to our parents, man.
Dog,
Can you imagine doing that now? Like, bro, I might get killed for just because I love this child so much,
bro. Game Boy Color. So here's the Game Boy Color story from my family. My mom, my auntie. They're going out finding Game Boy Colors. I wanted the I still have mine. The sequence one where you can like see through it. That was the one I wanted.
Oh, the purple one. Fuck yeah, dog. Yes.
That was the one I wanted. And they could not find that one anywhere. So what they did was everywhere they went, my mom was like, okay, just buy whatever color they have. Just everybody, like her, my aunt, my uncle, they was all working together and like just buy whatever ones we have. We're going to find somebody that has that, and we're going to just trade them.
Dog, love it.
Multiple numbers of these.
I'll give you 3 of these for that one.
And that's what my mom did. They found some guy. They gave him like a green one, a yellow one, and a red one for that one.
Dog, love it.
I was like, that's insane. That's the top 5. I love that top 5. Home Alone at number 5. Nightmare Before Christmas at number 4. Home Alone 2 at number 3. Elf, number 2. And number 1, Jingle All the Way. Boom. Let's get into our personal list real quick. Let's go. I'll go first on this one.
Boom, go for it.
For me, Christmas movies. This movie, I just have a soft spot for this movie. Coming in at number 5. I mean, it's been the one that they play every year, marathon, 24 hours, A Christmas Story. It's a classic. I love it. I love that movie.
Breaking: Pistons have re-signed Troy Weaver to an extension. Well deserved. Good man.
They need to. Shout out to Troy.
Yep.
But Christmas Story, man, classic. Love it. I still remember not being able to sleep at night. It's so weird how things work because I would literally wake up at the same part. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't sleep and this movie's playing all night. And I wake up at the same part every year, bro. And I always woke up at the part where Ralphie was having that dream where he was like, where he was shooting the bandits with the BB gun. And I used to wake up at that same part every year. Like it was so weird. But that movie is amazing. I love it. It's hilarious. Shout out to Ralphie. Ralphie can't move with his layers on. And then what does he say? Ralphie lay there like a slug. It was his only defense.
Bro, just the way that shit was narrated was just so good.
Only I didn't say fudge. I love that movie, man. Classic. Coming in at number 4. This is a new movie that I'm very high on that I've been telling y'all to watch. 8-Bit Christmas, bro. I love this movie. 8-Bit Christmas is hilarious. Again, like my favorite concept for a Christmas movie is like really wanting a gift and trying to get this gift. You got to watch 8-Bit Christmas, bro. It's like, 1, it's hilarious. 2, it's about a kid in the 80s who wants a Nintendo more than anything. That's what this movie is about. And it's about him doing whatever he can to get this Nintendo. Then there's like this rich kid that's the only kid in the whole town that has one, and he's like really he is a piece, man. This kid, and he has all the kids and from the whole city come to his front yard all the time, and he picks certain ones that can come in and play.
Bro, that's kind of like the King and Craig of the Creek kind of.
Yeah, bro,
that's hilarious.
It's so funny. And then like it is hilarious. You gotta watch it. I love it. It's got a really good like lesson in it too. His dad in the movie is hilarious. And it's like a realistic movie, but there are moments that are just like completely over the top. Like they go to the mall to do Christmas shopping, and his dad hates being at the mall, and he's scared of elves. And his dad, literally, an elf, he's on an escalator, and an elf comes up to him, the mall elf. Bro, he punches the elf in the face and throws him off the escalator, bro. Like,
that's hilarious.
It's so funny. 8-Bit Christmas, you gotta watch it. Hilarious. Coming in at number 3 for me is gonna. You know what? I'm gonna call the audible here. I'm gonna actually go with Home Alone 2 now.
Hey.
After we have had these conversations, I think you're right, man. I think I'm a little more emotionally attached to the second one. One, it's funnier, but two, my brother got that Talkboy for Christmas.
Oh, yep.
The recorder.
Yep. I got that one too.
That was our thing for so many years, just recording stuff and playing it back. Hilarious. So shout out to Home Alone 2.
Wait, before we go too far past it, I said this online, but I meant to say it on the podcast for those who know. Bro, you can't tell me that Crimson Alchemist don't look like Maya from Craig and Creek. A really angry Crimson Alchemist.
No, that's facts. That's a great comparison.
Yeah. Not the same personality, but kind of
great comparison. They look alike.
Yeah.
Shout out to Crimson too, man. Dope female MC. We gotta get her back.
Yes, sir.
Gotta get her back. We gotta get her on this album that we will not say the name of.
What album?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I forgot.
Number 2 for me is a movie that I fell in love with because of my kids, and that's Polar Express.
Yeah.
This movie, man, Polar Express is a great movie. I love if my first favorite thing that we're doing in a Christmas movie is like the pursuit of a much wanted gift or toy, my second favorite thing is just like some good old Christmas magic. You know what I'm saying? Like some Santa, some Santa stuff, some miracle stuff, some believing stuff. Mm-hmm. That is what this movie is. Polar Express is awesome. I think the animation is a little creepy. Like it's and I think that's what turned me off back then. It's kind of that like what do we call that? The Uncanny Valley.
Uncanny Valley.
It's a little bit of that Uncanny Valley feeling where you're like looking at these weird like they have like these dead facial expressions, but they're like it's weird just because of the way that it's animated. Yeah. But it's a little bit Uncanny Valley triggering with the animation style. But love the movie. It's amazing. My kids love it. So that's my number 2. And my number 1, you already know, Jingle All the Way. It's Turbo Time. Let's go.
Turbo Time.
Shout out to the annoying neighbor in that movie as well. He's hilarious. Ted.
Dog.
Ted is funny.
Ted was the one he was trying to.
You can't bench press your way out of this one. He's trying to get with his
wife. So bad. So funny, he was so thirsty. It was like low key, kind of like rapey a little bit. It's kind of gross.
Yeah, and then she hits him with the eggnog. And then he goes to get his son. He's like, let's get out of here. He's like, ew, Dad, you smell like barf. Hilarious. That's my list, man. What's your top 5 favorite Christmas movies?
All right, a little bit of controversy on my list, but I will not have it. I will not have it, Tom. So
you betrayed your uniform.
Right.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I'm old. Yep. Older than a mug. Yep. All right, man. Number 5, Gremlins.
Hey,
a Christmas movie.
It is. It definitely is. There's no dispute. That is a Christmas movie.
Movie used to creep me out a little bit when I was younger. But
bro, how about the second one? Like the first Gremlins is like Gremlins 1 is it's a nice movie. I loved it when I was a kid. Showed it to my kids. They liked it. Bro, Gremlins 2 is like kind of...
It's like a horror movie,
it's
bro.
It's like teetering on that. Like, that one is a lot. That one's a little bit... That one is a little bit much, man.
Maybe I'm getting confused. That's the one that used to creep me out.
Bro, Gremlins 2
Which is the one where they put one of them in the microwave?
Dog, the Second one.
No.
The second one
fuck.
is straight up. The second
Yeah,
one
that
is
shit used to creep me out.
straight
Dog.
up scary, bro. Like,
Yeah.
that one is scary.
Shout out to the first one though. Definitely a lot more tame, a lot more Christmassy holiday. Gremlins, 80s classic. Was that late 90s or was that 80s?
That's 80s.
Or late 80s,
I
early
think it's
90s.
late 80s, like probably 86, maybe around that time, 87.
90. Oh, Gremlins 2 is 90.
90. The first one was in the
80s.
80s.
Yeah. Okay. All right, man. Number 4.
Number 4.
Yep. Shout out to Codename Kids Next Door.
Name Kids Next Door.
Bro, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
That movie is hilarious.
Bro, shout out to my mom too, man. That scene where, so like, it's one of those moments where like you see your mom as a human, like a silly human for the first time.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching that movie with her, and when the squirrel scene came on, when the squirrel comes into their lodge and they can't get him out, and he's going through the Christmas tree.
No, that
Like,
part is hilarious.
My mom, like, she like was like unhinged. Like, I've never seen anything like that before. I'm like, yo, because you don't see your parents behave that way very often.
Not very often, man. No,
and it's like, oh,
that's
she's
true.
she's also a person that's like that can have laughing
Thinks
fits.
Stuff is funny.
Yeah, so funny. Number 3, man, of course, classic Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Amazing soundtrack, very like this weird, charming but still creepy. The main character Jack
Skellington,
just
yep.
being amazing. Yeah, shout out to, and Tim Burton is problematic and kind of racist, but that's a good piece of art from him. I won't lie about that. And then number 1, bro. Look, I skipped number 2. We talked about it already. Home Alone 2, fantastic movie. Funny. Just one of my favorite I used to watch that movie like just regardless of whether it was Christmas or not. I would just still watch it. It's just funny.
Yeah. And and this, just us having this conversation on this episode made me remember that that's maybe the one that I'm more emotionally attached to.
Yeah.
But the first one, bro.
First one's good too.
So funny.
First one is really
I'm
good.
living alone. I'm living alone.
Yep.
Kevin, go upstairs. I am upstairs, dummy. He was tripping in
Dog.
that movie,
So
bro.
man, he's a little fucking asshole,
Dog,
bro.
they were mean to him, but my man's was
He was
just-
tripping for sure.
He was
You know who was really tripping is the uncle. And
Say good
number
night,
2.
Kevin. Good night, Kevin.
Right.
Bruh.
The uncle in number 2.
Oh, he needed to.
Like, bro, who the fuck you think you talking to, dog?
that dude
Like,
was awful.
talking to my son that way, I'll beat
Bro,
your ass.
yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Look what you did, you little jerk.
Get out of here, you little pervert. Like, what the, bro, like, I'm just trying to get my
You're in
time.
my house.
Right.
Freeloading off of my
Right.
dad.
Mooching off my dad, who's obviously a
Who's
drug dealer.
Obviously got mob ties.
Right. He's right. So, yeah, number 1, though, bro. I won't have it, dog. It is, I looked it up. It is a Christmas movie. The whole movie is about
gosh.
Christmas, bro. Like, Hook, number 1.
It is. It
Takes place on Christmas.
At a
And
Christmas
it's about
party.
trying to get his kids back so they can celebrate together as a family.
It is.
Merry Christmas. They say that shit like all throughout the movie or towards the end. But anytime we talk about Hook,
man.
we have to play the scene, bro. Every time.
Oh gosh.
Uh-oh. I fucked it up.
Your heart out, you crinkled, wrinkled, fat hag.
You're a very ill-mannered young man. Do you know that?
You gotta play the explosions when they start dropping bombs on each other.
You paunchy sag bottom puke pot.
Bitch.
You are a very poor role model for these kids. Do you know that? I bet you don't even have a 4th grade reading level.
Mortal suck navel, bitch.
Boil dripping, beef fart sniffing, bubble butt.
Ignorate Rufio.
Someone. You know that?
You are a fart factory. Blood slime, sack of rat guts and cat vomit. Cheesy scab hicked.
God, bacon that nigga.
Bandit. A week-old maggot burger with everything on it.
And fries on the side.
Substitute chemistry teacher.
Come on, Rufio, hit him back.
Monk tongue.
Math tutor. Prison barber.
Mother lover.
Nearsighted gynecologist.
In your face, camel cake.
And your rear cow derriere.
Prine, crine, spine, prine, ultra pig.
You lewd, crude, rude bag of
P2
peas.
poop, dude. Bitch.
You mad, stupid man.
Burger. What You two-tone, zebra-headed, slime-coated, pimple-farming, paramuseum brain.
Munching on his own mucus.
Suffering from Peter Pan.
Peter Pan envy.
What's the paramecium brain?
I'll tell you what a paramecium is. That's a paramecium. It's a one-cell critter with no brain.
And can't fly, you bitch ass motherfucker. So dumb ass out my face, little boy. Boom.
Rufio's death is one of the worst in film history.
Man, shout out to our guy Rufio.
Shout out to our guy who later went on to voice
Yes.
Zuko in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Also,
Goats.
shout out to Rufio Jones.
Shout out
Dope
to him
rapper.
too. Dope rapper from Detroit. All right, man, let's go. Moving on. Got some more content for y'all on this Christmas extravaganza episode. What is the first? What's the first toy craze you remember being a part of?
Being a part of.
When I say being a part of, I mean like there was a craze and you were in. Like you wanted it, you needed it, whether you got it or not.
So like there's the Tickle Me Elmo. There was I think I was too old for that though.
Yeah, that's yep. I got something for that too.
There was Beanie Babies, but I was never into that.
Beanie Babies. Oh wow, I remember those too. Beanie Babies were huge, actually.
I think in terms of like shortage, where like it was actually before. It was before. So two at the same time. It was originally Sega Saturn was the one that I was really trying to get, but I ended up getting, because I didn't even have the nerve to ask for it because I knew it was just impossible. Nintendo 64.
Okay.
And because I got Nintendo 64
yeah,
because it came out in November and I got it in December. Like I got it first wave.
Yep. Same.
Which is like in the 90s, black families,
Bro, what?
you never fucking got, bro.
You didn't even ask for it.
Yeah, like no, bro. My first video game system, and I am someone who was older than some of our listeners, but I'm not like 40. You know what I'm saying? So like the first video game system I got was a Nintendo, but I got it in like 1992. It had been out for like 10 years,
out forever. Yeah. Same.
And my dad was like, "Nope, like here's the one that costs $100. So here we're gonna get this one. We're gonna play goddamn Mario
and Duck Hunt.
And we didn't even have Dunk Up. We had Mario. And we had that wrestling game where you used to slam niggas on their heads.
Bro, I still remember like getting a Nintendo 64, and I remember that Christmas I got a lot of. That was when like the Terminator toys were really popping, and like the Alien Predator toys, and like. And I remember I dog Superman all the time, but in the 90s, this was around that time when they were doing like Superman with the long hair and like Doomsday and Superboy. Like I got a bunch of those toys too that Christmas. So I remember that Christmas very well.
Yep.
So the first toy craze that I remember being a part of, I gotta say Power Rangers, man. Like I was obsessed with Power Rangers, hugely obsessed with Power Rangers. And this was, like I said, this was like I love G.I. Joe and I love Ninja Turtles. And we kind of went over this a little bit last week. Like those are things that kind of bled into the 90s from the 80s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like G.I. Joe was 80s, Ninja Turtles was 80s. We loved those things and we had them and we were big in the Ninja Turtles, Transformers too, exactly. And those like He-Man, all that stuff, Thundercats, like we love that stuff, but it wasn't our generation stuff. It was 80s and it kind of bled into the 90s a little bit.
Yep.
Our first like figure thing was definitely Power Rangers.
Yep.
And so that would be mine.
And then the Marvel toys.
And then the Toy Biz, the Toy Biz X-Men joints. I remember just Power Rangers, bro. Like obsessed. It was like a big thing, like where you couldn't get them anywhere, and especially like the 8-inch ones with like all the articulation, like
man.
And those were so dope to me, and we had never really seen nothing like that because at the time, like we had the big Toy Biz Marvel joints. They were like 10 inches, but they were like this though.
Yeah.
Only and these Power Rangers joints were like full articulation.
I remember I had a Gambit Toy Biz that had the leather jacket and everything.
Yes,
it had it had like the elbow and knee articulations, but not the like hip and shoulder.
The Power
and shit.
Rangers were nuts, man, for that time. Like we had never really seen anything like that except like the little 3 GI Joes. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
that was mine for sure. And then the Zords too, crazy.
Yeah.
What's the first toy craze you remember that you just weren't into? Like one that was just crazy, but just wasn't. You didn't care.
Okay, so I kind of remember. Do you remember Trolls being a big deal?
Yeah, with the fuzzy hair.
Yeah, and like the lights on their chest.
Yeah.
I remember that being a big deal.
Oh my, bro. Oh, you're
Yeah.
the ones with the gems on their chest.
Yeah,
and
you
could
press
like
the back, yeah, and
then,
it would spark.
Oh!
Yeah. They were dope, but I was never like crazy into
bro,
them like that.
That's a crazy.
Yeah.
I forgot all about those.
Yep.
Wow. And did they have like a show?
They had a show. They had a cartoon.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh, bro.
So it was that. It was. I got into this late. Oh, here's a really good one because I remember not even asking for it and like getting it on Christmas and being like, oh shit, how about that? PlayStation 1.
Oh wow.
I was not interested in PlayStation 1 because I think at the time, and I could be wrong about this, but I kind of remember them marketing PlayStation to be like
to
the older kids.
people because no, that's facts. Because I remember, this is where guys were playing like Metal Gear and like Final Fantasy and all these other all these games that we hadn't really seen yet. So.
Yeah, and it was like college game day and all your big cousins that were like that were
Sports
already
games.
like 19 at the time would play. And I was like maybe one day, but right now I'm good with like Super Mario.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting one. It was like 2 years. It was like in 98 or 99. It was actually kind of, that's probably why I got it, because it was cheap. It was like a year or two before PS2 came out.
Okay.
And I finally got it, and I played Metal Gear Solid for the first time, played Tekken 3 for the first time.
Yep.
I think I used to play Cool Borders a lot.
Yep.
Cool Borders was cold, man. I like Cool Borders a lot. Cool Borders 4, that was my favorite one.
When did you get into the Final Fantasy 7 thing?
Dog. So this is super crazy, dog.
Because
I am 25 years late to Final Fantasy. Listen. I did not like Final Fantasy 7 at first because I think I was just too young. I just didn't get it.
I had the same thing happen to me, and there was a kid in my class. I remember his name. His name was Jordan, and he used to draw. All he used to do was draw Final Fantasy characters all day, and he's the reason why I got into it. And then I played it, and I was like, "Yo, this game is like really boring.
Like, what is going
you know
on,
what I'm
bro?
saying?
I don't
Like,
understand any of this shit."
Yeah.
So, Pete, here's because I texted you about this recently. I will level with y'all. I beat Final Fantasy 7, the original, for the first time 3 days ago.
Wow.
The first Final Fantasy 7 on PS1. Because you can get it on. I got it on PlayStation, the PlayStation app or whatever, their version of Game Pass. And I have been playing it here, and I started playing it like last year, and I just kind of been chipping away at it, every now and then. But I played it for the first time and beat the full story for the first time, and somehow hadn't got it spoiled. I had not gotten it spoiled for me for like 30 years.
That's crazy.
I don't know how I managed to avoid it, but I did not get
But
it.
there's so many Final Fantasy games.
Yeah,
so it's
true.
You know what I'm saying?
But I beat it for the first time 3 days ago, and I'm like, yo, I get it. I'm tripping, bro. This fucking game is awesome. Like there's a like have you played it all the way through and beat it and
The
all
old
that?
one?
Yeah.
I did when I was in college when I had finally played it and beat it. So yeah.
So do you remember like
the
the Zack Cloud twist?
Yes, and I remember that, and I remember that was my first time getting into like Sephiroth too, and that's kind of when I was like, like this kind of character, like this like kind of chill, like you know what I'm saying, like that the whole like edgy like chill pretty boy, like
sure.
I was kind of into that too. That was my first time really like seeing that type of character too. You know what I'm saying?
So look, bro. I will, just because I'm anal about spoilers, I won't say anything about it in case there's some idiot like me who hasn't beaten Final Fantasy 7 yet. But the Cloud Zack's twist, that shit blew me away, bro. I was like, oh, what the like it was 1998 again, like.
Right.
Man, so Final Fantasy 7, and I actually beat the Final Fantasy remake before I actually finished Final Fantasy 7. Like the good news is it only goes like so far. It only goes like to the first third of the game. And that's what inspired me to finally go back and beat Final Fantasy VII because of how much I enjoyed the remake. And I
Right.
finally beat it, and I fucking can't wait for the remake, bro. And I just actually recently, right after I beat the original Final Fantasy, I played Crisis Core, the Crisis Core Reunion, which is a prequel to Final Fantasy VII, and I beat that shit in like 12 hours.
Now, with Crisis Core, see, the Crisis Core stuff is what was when I was younger, it kind of confused me about the
Yeah.
whole twist that we're talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Well-
I never played that.
Okay.
So is that something that I should like
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
back
It
and
gives
mess with?
you the context to the twist is pretty. That's explained in Final Fantasy VII is explained pretty clearly, but like you get to like play those events.
Yeah.
in
that's
Crisis
dope.
Core.
Maybe I need to check that
It
out.
literally goes from like Zack's story from the beginning to like the event at Nibelheim, and then it goes like all the way up until basically the beginning of Final Fantasy VII. And also I'm really into the Final Fantasy lore right now. It's giving me context that I didn't have for Final Fantasy VII Remake, where like it's becoming pretty clear that Final Fantasy Remake is not actually a remake. It's almost like an alternative universe sequel
Oh wow.
because like Zack is alive
Yeah.
in Final Fantasy VII, and he is deader than a fucking doorknob in the original. And like there are references being made, like so. There's a theory. This is really sweaty. A minor spoiler as well if you haven't beat the remake. There's a theory that like Final Fantasy VII remakes Sephiroth is the original Sephiroth from the first game, who has like found his way into a separate universe and like is aware of what is supposed to happen
Oh wow.
and is like trying to do shit to change it. And it's a kind of a clever loophole to explain some of the story changes that happen in the remake. And it's a lot of the Final Fantasy sweaties that I consider myself one now are thinking that maybe this means, since Zack is alive, maybe this means you can save Aerith.
That's kind of sick.
Because a lot of people were really, I mean, that's been like one of gaming's greatest like people are still mad about that shit that Sephiroth killed Sarah. I mean, I had that spoiled for me like years ago. I knew that was gonna happen, but that's not even the craziest twist. The Zack Cloud twist is the one that's the most interesting in my opinion. But anyways, yeah, man, Final Fantasy VII. When did I get into it? In 2021, or whenever Final Fantasy Remake came out. I think it was 2019.
Boom. I like it. All right, man. Let's go. We're gonna close out. We're gonna give you guys our top 10 favorite personal toys / Christmas gifts, however you want to associate that, or however you want to. Me personally, I kind of tailored my list to Christmas gifts. You know what I'm saying? Some of my most memorable Christmas gifts and things that I got as a kid. So let's get it, man. Let's get into this now. Top 10 favorite toys / gifts.
Yeah.
What do you got, son?
All right, man. So number 10, I just had to be at the age for it. Like getting my first cell phone on Christmas was that was a big deal.
You were ready for it?
I got it late.
When did you get it?
I got it late, bro. I got my cell phone when I was a junior in high school.
Wow.
That's
okay.
super
That
late.
is late because
Yeah.
so you were ready for
Bro, I was like
So-
angry about how late it
it.
was.
So I got mine and I wasn't ready for it. I got mine when I was a freshman and I didn't want it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the opposite. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Like I was
ready.
I
As
was
fuck.
like, I got it, and I was like,
What you want me to do with this?
wait, what?
Yeah, nah.
And like this was and so by the time you got it, like people were texting and
Bro, by the time I got it, it was like a legitimate like social hamper. It like fucked my social life
yeah,
up that I didn't have a cell
with,
phone.
yeah, like with girls and everything at that age.
Man.
Like when I was so
Hey, can I
I
borrow
got,
your cell phone right quick, bro?
bro.
Fuck!
Hated like
that
I
shit.
got mine when I was at 9th grade, and I was still like just didn't care, and I did not want it, and it was more of a safety thing, and I just wasn't my thing at the time. So
For me, it
that's
was
funny.
it was necessary. And in that same year, and this will give you the idea of about how old I was and what I was thinking about during that time. I got a leather jacket. So I'm the cool guy now. Got a cell phone.
And a leather jacket.
Got me a leather jacket. All right,
Oh man.
ladies, I'm here. I've arrived. It's time. You know what I'm saying? I will be thinking about girls now only.
Only.
Exclusively for the next, like, 10 years. Like, only.
Oh man.
But before that, all the other cool gifts, that's why those are the last two, because there are
Bang.
cooler gifts that come before that.
Boom shakalaka.
Number 8, man, 1995, Grant Hill jersey.
Ooh, teal stones.
The teal joint. Yep.
Oh man.
I
Sick.
think my mom gave it away though, because I don't have it anymore.
One of the sweetest little small details of that teal jersey was this: the outer on the sleeve was black and it had like the what was it, like the orange like little
yeah, the little
strip,
fire.
bro.
Yeah.
Those jerseys were sweet.
And it was one of those. You remember that era of jerseys that you could buy that were like meshy and it had like the
mesh
holes in
joints,
it.
yeah. Those
Yeah.
are cool too, man.
Yep.
The champion joints.
So I had that was about 95, 96, somewhere in that era. I think it had to be 96 because I think that's when they started the teal was 96. Number 7. Now I could have just said like Toy Biz action figures in general because I got a bunch. Like there was like a 5-year stretch where I just got a bunch every year. But there's one that stands out, and I've talked about this one on the pod before, man. That Iceman, bro. That
Yes,
Iceman
sir.
with the ninja face and the
Bro,
weird like
yes.
back like plate of ice that came out, and he had the claws and the man, and it was like translucent. I still have not been able to find that toy. If somebody's got a link for it, hit me up. Every con that I go to, I look for it specifically, and I cannot find it. There was one year, the first time I went to the Motor City Comic Con, it was there, and for some reason I didn't buy it. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. It was one of those things like, oh man, that's cool. Remember this? And then I just put it down and kept
put it down.
Yeah.
Nope.
Like
Nah,
I didn't
yeah.
realize because I wasn't like super into like collecting figures at the time,
Mm-hmm.
but now that I am, I should have got it. I have not seen it since. That was like 5 years ago.
Man.
Number 7 and number 6 and number 5. I'll do these both together because I just talked about them. Number 6, PlayStation 1. Number 5. This had a legitimate argument to be number 1 just because of the story attached to it. But the Nintendo 64, where my dad starred in Jingle All the Way as Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, I mean, literally, that was my dad's favorite.
Bro, okay, you gotta watch 8-Bit Christmas, bro, because it's not for the Nintendo, but his dad goes through a similar situation
Okay.
to get his sister a Cabbage Patch Girl doll,
Nice.
and it's so funny, bro.
So, Jingle All the Way is my dad's favorite Christmas movie, like
Oh, man.
only because he's like, bro,
Because it's relatable.
and he literally is like, yo, like it's hilarious to me how similar this is to what I went through.
My God.
Like, especially he talks about like standing out in front of stores before they open and people just just running in and knocking shit. He's like, no, that happened. Like I was like having the fact he was tall 6'3", so like he was able to not get knocked over, but like no, like I was like stepping over people that were like sprawled out on the floor reaching for toys. Like that was a real thing that happened.
Insanity.
So shout out to my dad
Hilarious,
for
though.
the Jingle All the Way Nintendo 64 experience. There's a theme in the next 3 out of the next 4. Number 4, Native Instruments Machine Model 1.
Boom.
I
Gotta have the birth of
Yeah, bro.
Hero, man. Gotta have the birth of Hero.
That's actually not quite that might be the birth of Hero, but it isn't the birth of Omari, the music producer. But that might be the birth of Hero though, because that Get in the Machine definitely took my producing to the next level. And I was grown kind of at the time. I think I was maybe 20 or it was right when it first came out. So that was like maybe 12 or 13, 14 years ago maybe. So I was like 19, 20, 21, somewhere in that age. So like you don't really expect crazy Christmas presents from your parents at that point. But my dad knew how much I was interested in music and was like, hey, here's this thing that I found. Give it a shot. I'm like, oh, turns out this is like a revolutionary like kind of thing that's going to be super important to me later.
Facts. That's dope.
Number 3, this was in middle school or maybe elementary school. My dad being a big music person got me a drum set. That
Fire.
I didn't really use all that much, but it was still important. I took a couple of like snare classes where you learn how to do like all of that shit. But again, this is
Did
like
did you ever do band or anything in school?
no, I did not.
Okay.
Surprisingly, but I did not. But I got that was probably the closest that I came because I used to go to like Wayne State in like their music department and learn like the drum progressions and all of that.
Okay.
So that's more like an origin story. This is like a pre-origin story.
Right.
And we'll finish that story later. But number 2, this is my favorite toy ever.
Hey.
I mean, it's not exactly a toy, but it's one of my favorite like recreational toy gift
Yeah.
ever, and my favorite system ever as well. Sega Dreamcast.
Let's
2000.
go.
It was either 2000 or 1999. I think it was a year after it had already been out for 1 year.
See,
So it
man,
was 2000.
I didn't get the way that we had a Dreamcast was because this was my stepdad Steve, man. He was the one who had got the Dreamcast. And it was it was literally, I think he got it for himself on his birthday. And
Nice.
and his birthday was in October. And I just remember him bringing it home, and I was just like, yo, what is that?
Yeah, I need
And
it,
then
whatever that is.
I had an uncle, my Uncle Smokey, man. He was like I told you before, he was like the guy for like movies and games and bootleg. And this was, the Dreamcast had the CDR, man. So he had a entire binder and that's how I started playing all those fighting games on Dreamcast was because of him.
Yeah, man. So shout out to the Dreamcast, bro. Got that. Got Shimu the same Christmas. Oh my god, bro. Got Soul Calibur.
Oh man.
What else did I play on Dreamcast? Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Yeah, man. That I could probably put PlayStation 2. That was a good Christmas gift as well. But the Dreamcast was because I wanted it, bro. I wanted it so bad, dog.
That's facts.
Got that motherfucker. I was like, yeah. This is the moment. This is my you're 10 at the time, so like you're like, yo, all my dreams have come true now.
Life.
Happiest kid ever.
Facts.
Number 1, man. Now this is the origin story of my music, and I think I've told this story on the pod before. But when I was hanging out with my cousin Hassan, his mom is a musician, and she was messing around on this keyboard. And my Hassan and I were like, yo, this shit is kind of crazy. Like you can play it, but you can also like record shit and like play other stuff on top of it. That's kind of slick, ain't it? So we messed around with it for like maybe 3 or 4 hours, and like we're putting little music shit together.
Right.
And I mentioned to my dad, like, yo, like that keyboard that Tasalima has, like that shit, it's kind of dope. Oh well, just kept it moving. And I think it was maybe 2001, 2002, maybe. That was before, 2001, because it was right before I went to high school. My dad found another Jingle All the Way kind of story because I didn't really realize how expensive synthesizers were at the time. Bro. But he had to go like find one like at a fucking vintage music store. I was like, hey, you got this specific keyboard that my son asked for, and
oh my gosh,
it was like, fuck you, of course not. What are you crazy? Like laughed in his face and shit. So he had to find a random person. I think this might have been one of the first eBay purchases that he ever did.
Wow.
So he bought it off eBay. Kurtzwell,
eBay sneaky been around for a long time,
like since like 95 or something.
Since we were kids. Because you know what? When I just told you that story about the Game Boy Colors, my mom told me the extra ones they had after they got the one, they put them on eBay. They sold them all on eBay.
Nice.
Dog, that's like,
yeah.
That's in like 6, 5?
Yeah. Let's see. When did
Game Boy Color?
Yeah. 96 probably.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Bro, yeah, eBay was founded in 1995.
That's crazy.
So yeah, man, Kurtzwell synthesizer, which I still have in this corner.
Bro, that's nuts.
Of the room. That second keyboard, the one that's leaning over to the side, that is excuse the obvious mess. It got a lot of boxes, but this one right here that's leaning over to the side, the shorter one, is the original Kurtzwell keyboard that my dad got me when I was about 12, and that was the beginning of the hero shit, bro. That's when I got started.
Let's go. Love it.
Boom.
All right, man.
What you got?
Let's get it. I I have the best music related gift that I ever got when I was growing up. I told you guys once on the pod, my kind of journey, the way that I got started into really wanting to get into hip hop stuff was I wanted to be a DJ at first.
Oh.
And I got some turntables, but I got them for my birthday, so I'm not using them for this list.
Ah.
But one of my birthdays, I got some turntables, man, and then I started getting into DJing and stuff, and then I would play the little instrumental parts, the sides of the records, and then I was like just started rapping over them, and then I would like record them on these little tapes and stuff. So like
Fire.
I had kind of a pretty organic getting into the hip hop stuff, man, through the turntables.
Side note,
So-
best birthday present, Star Fox 64.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Star Fox 64 with the Rumble Pack.
Yeah, exactly. That's what made it. That's what made it.
Crazy. 64 with the revolutionary technology, man.
Yep.
But all right, man, let's go. Let's get into this list. Top 10 favorite Christmas gifts ever. Let's go, man. You know what? I'm going to start it off with something recent.
Okay.
You know what, man? Last year, and I'm a grown man. I'm old. I am an old man. I'm grown. I'm old. Christmas is about the kids, man. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying?
Absolutely.
Last year, my mother pulls up to my house on Christmas at night, and I tell my mom every year, don't get me nothing, please.
You've already done enough.
You already do.
You know what I'm saying?
You've done so much. Don't give me anything.
Or if you want to give me something, have it be something functional, like
Yeah.
fucking some underwear or something.
Toaster, you know.
Yeah.
My
Air fryer.
mom pulls up and gives me the, we're proud of you, and, you deserve something. Bro, my mom gives me an OLED switch, dog.
Hey. And they were hot back then,
And
too.
they were hot. So this means that my mom put on the 90s pants.
Yeah,
and
had to go back to the
treated-
jingle
and
all the way.
treated me like a child.
The way of the jingle all the way, bro.
Insane. I still play that mug every day. Like, that's legit one of the greatest gifts of all time that I've ever gotten in my life, because I was just not expecting it. And so amazing, bro. Like this, just amazing.
When you play your Switch, do you usually play it handheld?
Yeah, I do, unless I'm playing I like to play Breath of the Wild on the TV. I like to play, but if I'm playing Pokemon, I play handheld. I like to play Ori on the TV too. If I'm playing Hollow Knight, I like playing on TV. Certain games, it depends on what the game is.
If it's a game that requires like dexterity, I gotta play it on the TV.
Yeah, same thing. But just that, super unexpected, incredible, man. Loved it. Coming in at number 9, favorite Christmas gifts ever, man. We're gonna go back to most of these are gonna be nostalgic stuff. Number 9, I'm going with this Chrome Buzz Lightyear, bro.
Shit, I remember that.
I think it was like 96 maybe.
Yeah.
And like the Toy Story was like just huge.
Bro, I think I might have had that toy,
You
bro.
might have.
Yeah.
Toy Story was huge. So when I was a kid, I had really bad asthma, and I used to have to go to the emergency room, and I remember one time
You have to sit on the couch with that humidified.
Dog.
You and
breathing
Edmund,
machine,
bro.
bro.
You and Edmund
That
have
mug
that in
was-
common.
That mug was like a car engine,
Yeah.
like back in the 90s.
I used to sit at his house and I'd be like, bro, why
Had
is
to
he
get a breathing
why is
treatment.
he strapped to this fucking steam engine? What's going on?
I used to have to do the breathing treatments, like all of that.
Yeah.
And one year, this was my birthday. So the original Buzz came out in like I think 95 probably, and it was huge. And I didn't get it for Christmas because and you know what? I think what happened was it was gonna be for Christmas, but my mom, I had an asthma attack and I couldn't go to the school dance when I was a kid, and that's probably like I was young. I was probably like 7 or something. And so I had to miss the dance, and I had to go. There was like a little school holiday party for Thanksgiving. It was because it was around my birthday, and my mom took me to my grandma's house, and she was gonna watch me, and she gave me that Buzz as a kind of a surprise,
consolation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like so that was awesome. But then, like I said, a couple years later, they came out with this Chrome Buzz. And I didn't even ask for it because I'm like, I ain't gonna get that because I already got one. I got the regular Buzz, you know what I'm saying? Nope. Woke up in the morning, Chrome Buzz, dog. That mug shining, like that Chrome Buzz is fire.
Yeah,
I still have it, which is hilarious. I
That's
still have
great.
it. So I get this Chrome Buzz Lightyear, so dope, man. That's number 9. Coming at number 8. This was the year after Nintendo 64 came out, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Dog, the birth of the wrestling games. I opened this box. Bro, I opened this box. It was like a regular dog. This is one thing. Another thing I love that my mom and Steve, man, they used to do is they used to
the box fake out.
They would put stuff in a box, like just a random regular box.
Yep.
Bro, I opened this box. WCW NWO World Tour. First wrestling game I had. First wrestling game I played. Incredible.
Bro.
Thought it was amazing.
I played the shit out of that
bro,
game.
I think this was the first year this was the only year growing up that we didn't go to the family party. Because, like, me and Chris were playing this game literally from, and this, bro, we're young too. We're getting up for Christmas at like 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, we played this game from like 5 probably to like midnight.
Yep.
Like, I'm talking mom, like, bringing food downstairs because, like, we wouldn't get off of this game. Like, it was amazing.
That's how I was for Mario. I played Mario 64 for 8 straight hours.
Are you okay? Like, you know what I'm saying? Parents checking on you. Like, dog, WCW versus NWO WCW NWO World Tour. Not Revenge, not the second one, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Loved it. That's number 8. Number 7, you already know it's got to be Nintendo 64, man. N64. Number 7, just a classic. Like I talked about it earlier. I remember the specific Christmas. I remember the house we were in. I remember the table, the black table that my mom had that it was on. Mm-hmm. And it was, bro, it was like a bomb in the face too, because like it wasn't wrapped. It was just bang.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like
that's how the drum set was. Because how do you wrap a drum set?
Right.
You just come downstairs.
That was me and my brother coming downstairs like, dog, it's Christmas. I said, oh, like instantly.
Yeah, just ran towards it.
And you like knocking other presents out the way.
Yeah, fuck out of here, throwing shit.
Get out of here, socks.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro.
Move shirt. Like,
it's a drum set, and that was. I got a bike like that too, and it was just under the tree.
I love that, and I do that to I got that from my mom. I do that too. Like sometimes if it's something crazy that I don't wrap it. I just bang, I'll just put a bow on.
I think that's a solid, because my parents did that too.
It's a good
little parenting technique.
It is, man.
Yeah.
Like I always got to leave one. You know what I'm saying? 1 or 2 that aren't wrapped up. Boom, coming in at number 6. You know what it is. I got to go with the Toy Biz X-Men action figures, man. Specifically for me, I know Iceman was you. I got to go with the Weapon X Wolverine, dog.
Yes, sir.
With the helmet came off, with the cords.
Retractable claws.
Bro,
yeah.
So cool, man.
He would have been, because I had a bunch of those. I had like 3 or 4 different Gambits. I had the Iceman. I had him.
Cable was a good one.
Yep.
He had the gun. Yep.
I had me and Edmund both had a Deadpool.
Dog, that's crazy because like now that Deadpool figure is like
it's hard to find.
Yeah,
it's rare.
That Toy Biz one.
But yeah, that Weapon X was crazy.
That Weapon X one was crazy. The Shatterstar.
Yeah, bro, I had the blue one. I had the one with the blue costume and the gold shoulder pads.
Dog's fire. I had the same year I got Wolverine, Cable, Shatterstar, and like Omega Red, I think, and I got all those in the same year. So shout out to those.
Yep.
Top 5 time coming in at number 5. I got to go with the WWF Monster Ring / the Superstar figures, man. When we were growing up, the only wrestling toys before they started dropping these were the ones that were like
the plush ones. Oh yeah.
You couldn't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they were kind of trash.
They didn't move. They sucked.
Yeah, they were kind of trash.
And then
that's why I wasn't into wrestling toys, because they didn't have no articulation.
And then they had the little ones where they had like the little blue ring, early 90s, and it was like the WWF ones, and they were like really small. Those were cool. But these, man, these changed everything. Like this was the big ring. This was the like the, you know, like 5 or 6 inch like wrestling guys.
Who was your first wrestling figure?
Ooh, of when they started doing those
like
stuff. So I got a pack. So
okay.
I got a pack, and it had. I literally remember this perfectly. I got a pack, and it had Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Owen Hart, like Ultimate Warrior, Goldust, and like ooh, it was a pack, and it had like, I bet you if I looked this pack up, like I could find it. I'm gonna look for it, but I'm gonna move on to number 4. But I'm also
no surprise that my first wrestling figure was Sting.
That's
obviously.
fire. Because so WWF actually beat WCW to the figures like that.
Yeah.
But then when WCW dropped theirs, they were better.
They were way
They
better.
were so fire.
They look like
because
they
then
were
I
like
started-
super detailed.
Yeah, bro. Then that's when I started getting those instead. Like I started getting Sting and like DDP.
DDP, yep.
And all those
Yep,
ones.
yep.
And Macho Man. Like the WCW ones were better.
Either
but-
me or Edmund had the DDP. I can't remember which. Or maybe, okay, I might be confusing our memories. One of us had Sting, one of us had DDP, and it could have been either one, but I don't remember which. But
Man.
when you listen to this, Edmund, please help me clarify.
Yeah, so I had like I said, WCW figures were better, but I definitely the memorable Christmas gift for me was definitely the WWF one and me getting that ring and like the Undertaker was in there too, and me getting that set with all those wrestlers in it, man, just amazing. All right, man, let's go number 4. I gotta go number 4. I gotta go with the Saba Saber, man.
Yes, sir.
The White Ranger, Saba, the sword. Dog, I was really into, like, I love action figures, but my thing when I was a kid, I had the crazy imagination. Like, I was all about getting the props, dog. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be the guy.
Yeah. Bro,
You know what I'm
hell
saying?
yeah. Me and Edmund had the Saba Saber, we had the Dragon Flute.
Dog.
We had
the Dragon Dagger was so dope. That was probably because that was way before lightsaber toys.
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
probably
yeah.
the first toy that made like the
noises,
noises when
yep.
you were like.
And then we
smoothing.
had the Mastodon like axe. You remember
Dog,
that?
yes, bro.
And the Red
gun,
Ranger gun.
Yeah,
Yep.
man, fire. Man, so dope. So I definitely gotta go with the Saba Saber number 4. Coming in at number 3, dog. I gotta package these two together. I just told the famed story of this, the Game Boy Color / Pokemon.
Let's
bro.
go. Oh,
One of the greatest
Man.
Christmas gifts of all time.
I wish I could put that on my list, but I got all the Pokemon. I got Pokemon Blue and Yellow both for my
For your birthday?
Yeah,
See, but just
and the Game Boy Color.
dog getting it for Christmas, bro. The Game Boy Color. I got Pokemon Blue. Still remember it. My brother got Red. He's a Charizard guy. I'm a Blastoise guy. Man, just getting those together and like that's kind of an underrated like bonding as far as me and my, because we played those games like at the same time.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
shared like what we thought was going
Bro.
on and like, you know what I'm saying? Like that was one thing. Like Pokemon and Game Boy Color was like one thing that me and my brother like super duper ultra
So
connected on.
you just unlocked the memory, and Edmund, chime in if you remember this shit. I remember me and Edmund in the backseat of his mom's car, maybe going to Easter Market or something like that, and we were both getting washed by Misty at the same time. And we were both so frustrated,
bro,
dog.
like can you imagine like just thinking back, like there's so much meta to Pokemon.
Yeah.
And like playing it as just a kid and like
had no idea.
unexperienced,
Yeah.
like not
We
dog.
were both like, "Yo, fuck this game,
Bro,
Like,
you
I'm about to quit. This
like,
shit
you
is too
have-
hard."
You have no idea about the
Like,
types.
type advantages.
You have no idea about like
Like-
move sets. Like you're just going to these. You
Yeah.
thinking that you're just gonna roll up to these gym battles because you're
Right.
just playing the game.
Going there
kinda, like,
under leveled as fuck.
bro.
And it was also, now in our defense, it was a lot harder to train your Pokemon back then.
Yeah. And
'cause
it's
it
like
was-
now they got so man. they
Yeah,
got
it's
so much
too
stuff
easy.
now,
It's
bro.
too easy now.
It is because like, bro, there was no EXP share back then.
They had it, but it was trash, and it like
I didn't even know they had.
they
it in
did no.
general.
So here's the thing. It was an item. You remember?
Yeah,
It was an
Okay,
item that you had to
yeah.
get.
But
that-
you know what? You're right. But you had to give it to one.
Yes.
You couldn't. It didn't
Yeah.
do it to everybody like it does now.
So it did. So you gave it to one of them, and it did. Oh, that's true. You're right.
Because now EXP share spreads to everybody.
to everyone. Yeah, you're right. You can
Back
only give it
then,
to
you
one.
could only give
Yep.
it to one, and
Yep.
their EXP would grow faster.
Yep.
But it wouldn't like you couldn't spam. But yeah, man. Number 3, Pokemon Game Boy Color as a combination, amazing. Number 2, I'm going with, like I talked about the Power Ranger craze earlier, man. The Green Ranger / Dragon Zord, bro. The way that they used to package them when you got it together, bro, it was insane. I remember getting the Dragon Zord and the Green Ranger together. Right at the height of me being obsessed with Power Rangers, Green Ranger. I had the Red Ranger too, probably in the same Christmas, I think. And just like those figures, man, they were so articulate. They were so dope. The Green Ranger had the shield, and
Yes,
then like
sir.
we used to like take it
Take
off
it
and
off.
put it on other
Other
Rangers.
ones, yep. I used to put it on other toys.
Dog.
Like, put it on Wolverine.
So sick, man. Like I loved like those 90s Power Rangers toys, man. Like right at the top of
Did
my
they
list,
ever
man.
come out with a Megazord? I mean, this would have been crazy expensive. There was like big enough to actually put the figures in.
Oh, I think they did, and there are some Megazords that were like crazy.
It would have had to been like this tall.
Yeah, because like back like the figures definitely were not in scale with the Zords.
Right,
like
right,
they were
right.
like almost
the same size. Yeah.
But just getting that, man, the Dragon Zord lit up, dog, and it like you could like transform, man. So cool. That's my number 2. I remember bringing that, bro. I used to bring that Dragon Zord to school all the time. Then there was this kid. He kept trying to trade me because he had the Megazord, like the big one. He kept trying to trade me for my Dragon Zord, and I was just like, dog, no,
Fuck
you know
off.
what I'm saying? But that's it, man. Number 2, Green Ranger / Dragon Zord. My number 1, you guys already know, the Darth Maul double-bladed lightsaber from Phantom Menace. Like, I've never been such a nerd until like, dog. I told you, bro. I was literally downstairs with the lights off, practicing with the lightsaber. With this was
humming Duel of the Fates.
This was internet too. So like blasting Duel of Fates off the internet.
Yeah.
Loud, and I'm just in the basement with the lights off practicing with the lightsaber, bro. Like, and my brother got the Qui-Gon lightsaber that same Christmas.
That's fine.
And I used to sit here and like I was literally like I was like practicing and like, all right, like I'm ready. Like face me now.
Yeah,
you know
right.
what I'm saying? Like, and then
let's fight.
we would fight. And then this is my brother was like, he was starting to get in that age where he's kind of being a jerk. So he'll like, oh God, you still suck. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, and like really practicing with that mug. Like that toy was so dope. And for the time that those lightsabers came out, like they were dope. They were good.
Yeah.
They were sweet, man. So that's my number 1, man. Favorite Christmas gift toy ever, Darth Maul lightsaber. That's my list. Quick honorable mention to the camouflage Megatron. Remember the big Megatron? And
Oh
it was,
my
like,
God, with the
camouflage?
camo. Yes,
So
dog. Hell yeah.
Quick honorable mention to the He-Man sword from back in the 80s and 90s. I remember they had that commercial where Skeletor went in that little boy's room and he fought over the sword. That sword was awesome. And that's it, man. That's my top 10 list. Hey, man, thank y'all for listening. Hope
Yes,
y'all
sir.
have a good holiday, man. And like I said before, I hope y'all just warm and just loved and y'all are at peace, man, this holiday. The original plan, right? I had y'all send in your list, and I wanted to do like a top 10, but like, dog, the lists were so it was too much.
I was a little worried about that. Like,
it was too much.
This is gonna be hard to
it
like
was too much variety,
diversity.
so
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But y'all, I encourage y'all to share your
share
own
your
list in
lists.
the Discord, man. Thank y'all for listening. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, peace.